as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River Region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Beyond that, you have to teach people how to de-escalate circumstances. De-escalate. So instead of anybody coming at you, and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg.
Joey Clark.
Stupid old man. Old man, stupid Joe Biden. Old, stupid, corrupt, perverted, old, stupid man Joe Biden. How many more adjectives could I add to this nincompoop? This bodysuit that's been taken over by the establishment. Hey, welcome into the program. I'm Joey. And, I'm just in one of those moods because Joe Biden is a stupid old man. Why? Because you have one of the most revolutionary technologies developing and has been developing over the last 10, 15 years, Bitcoin and the larger cryptocurrency ecosystem. And stupid old man Biden has his administration, through the administrative state, trying to continue to hold it back. And I'm just tired of stupid old men, and women too, pretending like, oh, well, we know what's best, young people. We know what's best for you. The banking system we have right now is just fine. It's just fair. It's not like we're making up the rules as we go and bailing out our buddies in the process. Stupid old man.
Joey.
Yeah.
Explain this to me. All right, so you said hold it back. So my understanding is any form of regulation essentially kind of diminishes the objective of Bitcoin. So
it could.
What's your ideal scenario?
Actually, I think Bitcoin should be regulated like a commodity.
Okay.
Bitcoin in particular. And then all these other ones that are on the verge, this is where it's really interesting, is like, what are these other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or Cardano or these stable coins that are out there? Are they securities like a company issuing a stake or stock? Or is it a different type of security that needs to be regulated? So we'll see. My point is that it would be nice if in open, transparent ways, in good faith, you actually had the Biden administration and the regulators at the Security and Exchange Commission doing this on the up and up, but they are not. What's got me so up in arms is that yesterday, the House of Representatives, much to their credit, and then the United States Senate, some Republicans there, and it's actually Democrats joining in on this too, are trying to say, hey, the SEC is trying to, through a backdoor method, suppress actually giving a ruling on regulations and rules they're putting on crypto and Bitcoin. So usually when a new regulation comes about, you have an open comment period.
I would hope
and
so.
Back and forth. No, they're trying to do it as like a staff memo or something. And so the Republicans in the House passed this. It came out, I believe, yesterday. And Biden's administration immediately announced that he would veto the legislation. And this is where I'm just like, stupid, stupid, stupid old man. But the beautiful thing is he isn't the only one. He isn't the only one actually running for president. And in fact, you have two other candidates. RFK Jr. is pro crypto and Bitcoin. And yesterday, Donald Trump was asked straight up. I think he was at Mar-a-Lago. And he was like, yeah, I'll protect it. So for me, if you're going to have such a thing as a single voter issue, I got to go with Trump or RFK Jr. because I cannot, in good conscience, support the stupid old man. Because he's not the one that wrote this up.
No.
He's not the one at all.
By no means.
So, yeah, here's the statement of administration policy on House Joint Resolution 109, the congressional disapproval of Staff Accounting Bulletin number 121 issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission. These people aren't even speaking the same language, by the way, anymore. Everything's about their little institutional fiefdoms.
Sure.
But here's what the administration says. The administration, the Biden administration, stupid old man, strongly opposes passage of Resolution 109, which would disrupt the Securities and Exchange Commission's work to protect investors in crypto asset markets and to safeguard the broader financial system. This resolution would invalidate SEC Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, which reflects considered SEC staff views regarding the accounting obligations of certain firms that safeguard crypto assets. Moreover, as explained in the staffing, blah, blah, blah. The point is, here in plain language, is banks, especially some of the biggest banks in the world, would like to actually be in charge of custody of these things and not rely on just a few small players out there. That's what they're trying to do, is cordon off Bitcoin, cordon off crypto, to where, no, the major players that are now trying to jump in, the institutional money that's trying to jump in, we're going to leave it in a legal regulatory gray area. And in some cases, we're going to tell some of the biggest banks who have wonderful security measures, no, you can't hold crypto assets. And we're not going to do this through an open rule process. We're again, what do they call it? A staff accounting bulletin. That way they don't have to listen to anybody.
Sounds like things ATF does.
Yeah.
ATF does the same thing, got no pushback on it, so why wouldn't other agencies start doing that?
It's absolutely infuriating when I see this. But the executive office of Biden just did put out saying he's going to veto all this. And it can't stand. I hope it doesn't stand. But the election is going to matter for this. And if you don't get on top of it, then this new technology is going to go offshore.
Yep.
I think this lends to your point yesterday about losing his base. I mean, there's a lot of progressive young kids who, I mean, this will be an issue that determines whether or not they go vote for him or not.
Absolutely.
May not go vote for the other guy, but it'll keep them at home.
Exactly.
Well, and here's Trump, I believe. He's being asked about this. This was at some press conference. And it was great to hear Trump, who is older. He's not like a spring chicken, but he gets it. So it's a young man asking Trump this question at the press conference. Trump calls on him.
Thank you for the statement. Yeah, with the goggles on.
A lot of the smartest people in crypto are moving their businesses out of the U.S. because they're scared of the U.S.'s regulations.
Because of the hostility.
Correct.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Correct. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Donald Trump back in the moment. And you can tell Trump's thought about this for a second. He's actually had conversations about it. I don't know if the stupid old man, though, up there in the White House could actually even begin to speak a sentence about it.
I don't think too many politicians can, unless they're told.
I was checking out the cabinet, and I'm assuming that the chair of economic advisors would have some weight on this issue. You know what his degree's in?
Oh, we talked about this fellow the other day, Jared Bernstein.
Yeah,
Or Bernstein.
okay.
But
Right.
no, tell us, because it's not in like economics.
Not in that kind of
Music.
finance.
Music.
Yeah.
No, I like some music, but he's a musicologist, or is he like a musician? Or?
Bachelor's degree from Manhattan School of Music.
That would explain why he had so much trouble trying to explain things.
And
the
then
other
he
day.
got his master's in social work. So
He did strike me as somebody who would suck on a saxophone.
Told you he's a dummy.
But here is Trump with the follow-up to all this.
They are against it. The Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What the? Get me off the stage. You say, get me off the stage. No, he has no idea. But look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it. Probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms, if you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump. They are.
Yep. You better vote for Trump in this regard. Now, of course, this continues to bring in the wild card in this race, RFK Jr. And for somebody who's like a nobody, they are sure spending a lot of broadcast minutes and newspaper placements going after the fella. And you know how I said Kristi Noem should have responded to the whole dog killing thing?
Yeah.
With, well, the dog told me he was voting for John Kerry. Like, that should have been the Twitter response and the end of it. Instead, she kept digging.
Oh, just doubling down. Yeah.
Well, so I believe the New York Times kicked off a huge hit piece on RFK Jr. that he has a worm, a parasite, and is dead in his brain.
Oh.
And Stephen Colbert had a whole monologue about it.
Really?
And I'm like, is Colbert a real person? He looks like a robot at this point, like just bought and paid for. And so he, I think, made some joke of, yeah, the worm died in his brain from starvation. Essentially, that RFK Jr. doesn't have a brain because everybody, you know, he disagreed on the COVID regime and all vaccine schedules and stuff like that. But here's RFK Jr.'s response to that hit piece from the Times. I offer to eat 5 more brain worms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate. I feel confident of the result, even with a 6-worm handicap. And Elon Musk is promoting this stuff. Elon asked him, you know, like, hey, come on, man. Let's go. There are a lot of people wanting a debate online on the X platform. I don't think it's going to happen because they'll never agree to it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We need to monitor these swing states and see like which the left or the right starts putting more money in behind RFK Jr. to see, you know, how the tea leaves are kind of reading.
Yeah.
Because you know that's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen. And you now have MSNBC. I love this headline. Puzzled by poll finding independents think Biden is a greater threat to democracy than Trump. Well, they're starting to figure out what we mean by democracy.
Well, they're just paying attention.
Right. Wait, these dummies take it literally that democracy is like people vote for their, and the people they vote for run the government. That's not democracy. That's how you get Hitler.
You're not going to win that argument. Ever.
You know?
I've tried.
You've tried?
With numerous people. You cannot tell them that we don't have a democracy. They just do not believe it. They don't understand the framework of our government.
Right. They don't at all. Wait, are you telling me that the pretense of American politics and governance is that there are just a lot of really helpless, stupid, irresponsible people that need to be forced against their will to do things for their own good?
And their vote counts just like yours and mine.
Yeah. Well, and I love the package deal. Like, the crypto issue is huge to me, but there's all sorts of other issues. And it might come down to Donald Trump slept with Stormy Daniels. And their vote just matters as much as anybody else's.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, give me one reason to vote for Biden. I have millions of reasons to vote for Trump. I have not seen one positive reason that anyone would cast their vote for Biden besides the fact that in their mind, he's not Trump. What has he done? Give me some successes. Any.
Well, maybe some people are like, he's just as stupid and old as me, and I can relate to that.
There can't be that many stupid old people out there.
Oh.
That just stand in the middle of the street and poop their pants while their wife watches.
Yeah, okay. Think about it, man. And actually, that ain't a bad time if you're in your 80s.
Yeah, see, one thing, if your hot wife was watching.
Like, that's better than sex.
some people's kinks, man.
Yes, that's right. Who am I to kink shame? My bad.
But I'm sorry for the opening rant of just stupid, stupid old man. But that's this one particular issue. I've watched this thing grow over the last decade. I'm amazed by this technology. I've had my doubts, and it comes back again. Oh, it's amazing to see the technology itself develop. The people around that space develop that technology. It's amazing to behold. And here comes the effing government with a stupid old man supposedly running it, like he's running squat, saying, nope, y'all aren't allowed. We've got our established interest here, and we're not going to let you hinder our security and stability of our financial system. Yeah, give me a break.
Can we just develop a rule that if you can't make it up or down the stairs by yourself, that you're not in charge?
How many stairs? 3 to 5 at max, right?
Yeah.
I'm down with that. So down with it.
Stupid old man. But CNN, I didn't expect this from Erin Burnett of CNN. She interviewed Biden here recently. And it's an amazing moment where CNN should be friendly territory for Joe Biden. Not always easy questions, but generally a friendly frame that he can, fit himself into.
Yeah.
Well, here's Erin Burnett asking the president about, the number one issue voters care about.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of the American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape.
No, they
the
don't.
polling data has been wrong all along. How many, you guys do a poll with CNN, how many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad, the folk that, we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw, the combination of...
And by the way, y'all do know, and this is from the guy we play, Constantly Peter St. Ange, that actually native-born Americans' jobs have declined in the last several months.
They will continue to as well.
And most of the jobs that have been put on are part-time.
Part-time jobs.
All the time, these numbers they put out there, the numbers are revised down a month or two later.
You know what creates part-time jobs? Full-time job layoffs.
Right. And then, he goes on about inflation, I believe.
The inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available.
Wrong.
But let me say it this way.
Oh, okay.
When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse in the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Although GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still growing. Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it, not being as strong as it was before, is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah. Well, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%. But look, people have a right to be concerned. Ordinary people, the idea that you bounce a check and you get a $30 fee.
Oh, listen to this. This is a big thing he pulled off.
For bouncing the check, I changed that. You can't charge more than $8 for that. Or your credit card, your late payment, $35. There's corporate greed going on out there, and it's got to be dealt with.
I won't argue with the corporate greed factor, but what he's talking about there is personal responsibility. And same with student loans and same with these other things. If you have a contract with me, I'm going to hold you to your feet to the fire, period. You sign it. Nobody put a gun to your head.
But the truth is also the corporations swim in the same waters as the rest of us. So why are they nickel and diming people?
Because they can.
Well, number one, because they can, and it's also kind of necessary to get a basic bottom line in place. And I'll put it this way. If you're trying to blame inflation on greed, that's like saying, hey, Boeing, why'd your plane fall out of the sky? Gravity. It's absurd. Greed is always around. It's a basic human element of our nature. But this, you created money out of thin air. Oh, the greatest jobs record, because we're in the biggest job loss. It was a huge V recovery when the economy was finally turned back on, which you delayed, Joe.
What is corporate defaults right now is what, 5-6%?
Yeah, it's going to get worse, especially with commercial real estate.
Right,
loans.
exactly. Yeah. So when they're talking about the strength of the economy, let's start to factor or look at some things that actually show some underlying metrics that you don't ever hear about. How many people have stopped looking for work, which, you know, as soon as they officially stop looking, they don't count those against the unemployment rate. Like, that's the real unemployment rate.
Just like inflation, they don't count gas. Are you kidding me? What's a huge part of just my daily driving is gas. I mean, I'm driving 80 miles a day minimum. Most people do commute, but they don't include gas and inflation. It's a huge thing, and it's doubled.
And he said, well, inflation was 9%, man. Now it's
which
down
is
to
a lie.
3%. It's down to 3%. It's like, wait, is it gone down? No, it's still growing, and it's actually bumping up more to 4 or 5.
Right.
That rate cut everybody's hoping for is continuing to be pushed off into the future.
It's not going to happen. No.
It's not a good situation that we're in. By any means.
You don't feel like you're surrounded by the most competent people to handle this
No.
issue?
Again,
Okay.
I'm
show me some winning that
After listening to the tapioca babblings of a stupid old man.
I was going to give him kudos. I mean, it didn't make sense, but at least it was somewhat coherent.
Yeah.
I mean, small bit.
Well, it was very old school politician-y. Very establishment politician-y. It's like, well, I haven't solved the major problems, man, but I'm working on getting those rents down. Not a joke, and I'm looking on increasing the amount of housing, and you know, and we got the fees down with the banks, man. So they'll take a little thing. Look at all the great. I'm fighting for you, and you're right to be concerned, but you're wrong to say it's so bad.
If he wants to get the fees down from banks and credit card companies, if he will ban them from giving political donations, that would take a load off their chest. Also, maybe that would get the fees down, because every fee that I got, how much of that goes to some stupid political contribution of some sort?
Well, corporations are people too, though. So.
See,
Yeah, well, stupid Mormon Mitt Romney. How about that?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Again, I last night, I've been waiting to just rant about this. I'm not being that coherent, but I'm just tired of this, that we have to pretend that that's the leader of the free world. He's not. He's not leading squat. He can't even lead his own bowels to the toilet on a regular basis. I look at the guy, and though it is fitting, it's sort of justice for the American people at this point. He is a perfect embodiment of an old, decrepit, corrupt ruling elite that doesn't want to give the game away and thinks if we just pass one more bill, we'll live forever. No, you won't.
Pull up a side-by-side of Dracula from Bram Stoker's back in the day.
Right.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah, stretched skin and everything.
Well, how do you argue that everything we pay for has gone up since he has taken office? How do you combat that? Nothing has gone down. Nothing has gotten better. How can you sit there and say,
the rate of growth has gone down? So instead of 9% growth in inflation, we're now doing 3%, which is actually higher than 3%.
That's a lie. If that were the case, people would not be worried about how they're going to pay for groceries.
Right.
I mean,
and that's what's happening.
Well, you hit it on the gas. I mean, it's not factored in that, but for the working class people, they have to make that hard decision.
It has doubled.
Yeah. So, yes, your point is correct.
And the companies that are seeing declines in sales is basic consumer goods.
Yeah.
Like fast food, for instance. Fast food companies
cars.
are getting hit hard right now.
Look at automotive, man.
Yeah. It's because a lot of folks just don't have the money.
Yeah. We went 2 years ago from you couldn't keep a car on the lot to now, what do you want?
Though the rich people, I was about to say something else. I don't need to get fired today. All the rich people that donate to Biden's campaign and a lot of other campaigns, they're doing great.
Sure.
They're
Inflation helps
sitting
them, man.
high on the hog going, well, inflation just means my assets are
Exactly
inflated
right.
in their valuation.
Exactly.
Can we just
It's
refer
fake.
to them as the Burgesses from now on?
The what?
Burgesses?
The Burgesses?
Is that not correct?
The Burgesses?
Yeah.
I don't know the reference.
Uh.
I tried, but I don't know the reference. 272-922. Stupid old man. Stupid. Hey, this part of the program?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group folks. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team can help you with, well, buying or selling here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. If you're looking to buy or sell a home here in the River Region real estate market. But they also have management services available. So if you are looking to either purchase a rental investment or you have a home currently that is going to be a rental investment in the future, and you don't want to manage it yourself, which can be a pain in the butt, have the Goodson Group do it for you. Very reasonable fee. They'll even find you a tenant. And then the Goodson Group is also home for the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed here in the state of Alabama, because it's very interactive, number one. And that's where Bo's 40 plus years of experience here in this market really comes to bear. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he can teach you, well, how to survive and how to hit the ground immediately finding success, whether as a fully licensed realtor or a, well, more knowledgeable private player. So check out the Goodson Group today. TheGoodsonGroup.com is always a great website to go to. That's TheGoodsonGroup.com, or give them a call at 551-0225. Bo Goodson, the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of, well, news and views in the afternoon. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the River Region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer. Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. You want to be a songwriter?
Not really. You are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring TJ Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who'll show up.
In a new scripted Audible original. Any advice?
Yeah, to steal something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
A tornado watch continues in effect for much of central Alabama. Showers and thunderstorms likely today. Could be some damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour and maybe up to 2-inch in diameter hail. That's pretty big. Also the threat of a couple of tornadoes as well. Stay weather aware. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action. High today up to about 88. With a low tonight down to 69. Another round of severe weather in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, and our weather app will keep you on top of that as well. Much cooler air will follow. We'll be in the 50s by Friday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Spring is time for clearing and cleaning. Time to clean out your shed too. Let go of old, outdated equipment holding you back and visit Capital Tractor to see your property's full potential. Powering Alabama, Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I got hairy legs.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Thank God I'm not alone today. I'm glad both of you guys are here, Eddie and you too, Byron. My goodness, man. Like, I just can't take it anymore.
You're not going to leave you by yourself. Man.
It's
not safe.
Unless hot donuts come by. You know how I am when it comes to hot donuts.
Yeah, that's how far your loyalty extends.
But do you have hot donuts? It could extend to you too.
No, I'll make sure to keep some on me. I'll just sit on them. That way it'll stay warm.
Take the fun right out of it.
Let's go to the phones. 272-9228. Let's go to Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, fellas. I was just wondering how the Democrats can justify, the economy's so good. Aren't they paying $3.13 and $3.15 a gallon just like we are? How can they say, this is wonderful, and how can they not like $1.89 gas? It just freaks me out. There must be a disconnect in their brain somewhere.
Well, these are the same people, though, Kyle, if I remember right. They were warned. Everybody knew gas prices were going to go up under Biden. And I think I remember several of them saying, I'm willing to pay a little bit more if it gets the right president in there.
Well, and then they add to it, Kyle, that, this is what we have to do in order to not actually beat Putin. Like, pretend like we're going to beat Putin until we lose.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Right.
Yeah, it just, and then, whoever is pulling the strings up there, because it ain't him. But then they let's just back a terrorist organization and blow off our allies.
Yep.
He just makes me belly sick, man. You know? All right, fellas, that's enough. My blood pressure.
Well, I'm glad I know I'm not alone, Kyle. Thank you for the call.
But also, I think a lot of that blowing off the allies, especially with Japan and as well as India, I think a lot of that will change under Trump. I think people will line back up.
Let's go to East of the Rockies. Hey, East.
Hey, good afternoon. I think the word that Byron's looking for is bourgeoisie.
Hey, we actually hold on.
conversation.
We actually had a really fun conversation about that. I was like, man, I think my down south Wiregrass public school roots just came out. I was like, I murdered that, didn't I? And I
No,
swear.
you did. But Byron, listen, don't apologize because you see, whereas Joey reads Mises, when I was a young man, I read a lot of Marx. Didn't totally buy into it because I voted for Reagan, but yeah, and there's a disconnect too because I had learning disabilities growing up. There were a lot of words that I read that I never pronounced, and I did the same thing in my 20s and 30s, man.
Phonetics matter.
Yeah, the Burgesses are going to get it. So,
We're going to make it easy
yeah,
for
the
everyone and just call them
bourgeoisie,
the bougie class from now
Bougie.
on.
That's it.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. You get the Eddie Bader School of Economics going there, and you'll be in good shape.
There you go.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Appreciate it. Let's go to Win. Hello, Win.
Hey, I just wanted to point out something about that clip of Joe Biden with Aaron Burdett.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I understand a politician, especially in an election year, is going to downplay the negative and exaggerate the positive.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't he outright lie to us by saying, when I came into office, inflation was 9%?
Yeah,
I agree
that's
100%.
not. Yeah,
But
it went to 9% under his watch.
we let him get away with saying that his grandfather was eaten by the cannibals. We didn't call him out on that, so I don't see us ever calling him out on that. We just let it go.
Anyway, I just wanted to point out that.
Well, I appreciate it, Win.
Thank you, Win.
Just like, if the Democrats had their sanity, they would drop Biden and put somebody else in there, like right now. Because I'm so tired of this stupid old man.
Is it because they have no one else?
Possibly.
I know they, but I would think they got somebody.
They have a roster.
You always have an ABC. I figured.
I think this is more the powers that be are just
going to ride it out.
Going to ride it out.
He's a nice puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a good puppet.
The puppet
guy.
you know.
He does poop his pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a good puppet.
You're on that poop your pants thing.
Dude,
What are
didn't
you
see him-
jealous?
Didn't you see him last weekend standing in the middle of the
I
road?
did see it.
I mean,
Looked like he
that
was
not like a child.
Of
going,
all
"Oh."
the things Joe Biden has done, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, he's at least enjoying life at this point.
he
You
was
think
smiling.
that until he wanders out.
Right,
into
you're not
road
the guy having to
next
change
time.
his diaper either, by the way.
Right. It's like a magic marker
Imagine
down
Secret
there.
Service who drew the low straw that day. No thanks.
Oh, goodness gracious. Before we go to Soldier Boy, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And of course, Dillon Rings is a full service jewelry shop. They can do it all from an incredible jewelry selection, from high end to that everyday jewelry. It still looks great, but it's not going to break the bank. Of course, they can do repairs, including watch repairs or spa treatments. Say that jewelry needs to be cleaned up, polished up. Say something like white gold.
Ooh,
Like you need that, what is it, rhodium they use to get
Mhm.
it all polished and shining beautifully, shining bright?
Or maybe you're downsized a little bit and you need your ring resized.
Oh, yes.
They can definitely do that.
Or maybe you gotten fat and you need it bigger.
Could go that way too.
That happens.
It
It
does
does
happen.
happen. Or custom design work.
Oh man, I've seen some of the beautiful stuff they do out there.
It does amazing things there. But Dillon Rings, if you go to their Facebook page today,
Mhm.
here's what they say. I just want to read it straight up. Today, we're taking a pause to celebrate a special milestone, Sean's commencement ceremonies. As we cheer him on, please note that we'll be closed for the day. So they're closed today there at Dillon Rings. But fear not, we'll be back tomorrow ready to help you find the perfect graduation gift for your grad. But I'm looking at his son graduating here, photos of it on the Book of Faces. Well, congratulations. Congratulations, guys. That's awesome. And we'll tell you a little more about Dillon Rings coming up later in the program. Let's go to Soldier Boy. Hey, Soldier Boy.
Thank you for taking my call.
How you doing,
Thank you
buddy?
for calling.
Hey, first thing is, was that an interview with the faux president, or was that Mr. Burns from Simpsons? Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Why's the pretty lady not? Why is she wearing
9%.
clothes?
9's a good number. I'm going to throw 9 the hard way. Yeah, 5 and 4, yeah. he looks like Mr. Burns. He walks like Mr. Burns. I tell you one thing. These illegal immigrants, what are they called now? Welcomers? What's the new term they're using now?
I don't know. I don't even. I try not to.
Yeah.
I think that's a new term for them.
Welcomers?
Welcomers? Are they welcoming?
Yeah,
us?
that's it. I love that one. Welcome. First thing is, my friend of mine who happens to be a police officer, I won't say for what department, but it was hilarious. He said he had this person who was suspicious, so he waved the young lady over because he wanted to talk to her and see and ask for her identification, right? And you know what she did? She turned around and walked away, looked at him, and walked away. And he said, "Ma'am," he says, I need to see your ID." And she turned around, and you know what she did? She took her head and went from left to right. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is how defiant. I mean, you steal, you sneak in here, you commit a crime, and the next thing you know, you're going to be at a bad A. And it was funny is my friend, he was riding double on a train, and the guy that he was riding with was a Hispanic police officer, born and raised in the United States. His father was a Hispanic, a military member, okay? And he started yelling. You know what the favorite word the girl's boyfriend started calling the police officer? Oh, God, you got to believe it. He called him, and looked at him because he was he tried to speak in Spanish to the person so he could understand, because he spoke. He says he told him that he was a person that was a fake, a fraud, not a real Mexican.
Oh, I see.
All right.
So you turn around and you call him. Call him the what's that word? Oh God, I can't think. I'm getting so upset now.
Wait, are you turning into Joe Biden?
No, well, I'm not. No, not yet. No, I'm still on 3% and 4%.
Yeah, and even if you have the urge, I recommend you get to the bathroom, man. Like that, you just don't.
Joey.
It's going to be a mess.
Mm-hmm.
You're a tall man. You're a big man.
What's going on? And what's going on with this college? Was it the illegal immigrants? Now they got a list of demands they want. They want vegan food. They want a lawyer.
Excuse me. It's called vegan food.
Vegan. Yes.
Vegan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Trump put out that memo the other day.
Yeah.
And Mr. Trump's book always said, you always negotiate from the position of power. Do they think they're in power?
Yes, they do. That's what's so sad. They really feel like, and for the most part, they showed they have the upper hand. A lot of these colleges have been too scared to do anything.
But this is the city of Seattle they're negotiating with. Now, they're negotiating?
Well, don't you remember that, was it Chop-Free Zone or whatever he had a while back there in Seattle a couple years back?
Well,
they're 10-ply, man. They're super soft.
Well, it's just out of the list of things was unbelievable. They wanted all. I mean, what do you want? 30 days of paid vacation too, and a tax refund?
Yeah, and they want all the Jews, driven into the sea.
That's right.
And it's just that not big demands.
Oh, they want transportation for their illegal children to go to school. Mm-hmm. They want a bus to pick them up at the shanty and take them to the schools.
Well, God only knows the promises they were made before they got here.
Yeah, and it just drives me nuts. I respect people that are, say, like, consistently anti-war. I know many libertarians are like that. But the folks that are very selective about when they get out in the streets and start making mayhem in the protest, I'm like, if you just put on a couple of matching uniforms, you're the jackboot thugs you're fighting against, supposedly. Give me a break.
Hey, Joey, when I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, okay, and I listened to these special ops people on the Army side now, because I was on the Air Force side of cars, and I was anti-war then when I got over there, and I was anti-war there and anti-war when I got back with George W. Bush's little private little damn war, because I asked the guys. They went out and used money and tried to bribe people and tried to get some inside information and use special equipment and stuff.
Sure.
They couldn't find no weapons of mass destruction.
In Iraq, right?
He said we dug up half of Iraq up, and he says we didn't find anything. And every time he'd come back to the tent, I said, "What'd you guys find today?" Nothing.
Well, and then they tried later, in a few years after the fact, to be like, well, we did find some mustard gas deposits. Yeah, you already knew they were there from the first Gulf War.
Right.
Like, so yes.
Literally marked on a map.
But did you find reconstituted chemical weapons programs? Did you have anything close to old Dick Cheney's allusions to a mushroom cloud?
No, but don't you remember that video they let out where there was a dog that died and that got everybody's attention? Because
well,
that's what it was.
Well, Christine Holm,
there you go.
She must have been active over there.
Hey, I was eating a breakfast. Who was it? It was Halliburton that Cheney owned.
Yes, Halliburton ran all your cafeteria.
Halliburton. Yeah, man. I go over there and the lady looked at me and she's feeding me, and I was like, she says, "Did you enjoy that $40 breakfast?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, that's what the taxpayers pay for. I said, $40. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Wait, what was in that $40 breakfast?
Powdered eggs.
Well, I don't know. It was good, but it wasn't $40 worth.
Powdered
and I
eggs.
looked at them, and she says, what do they do is that when they bid on the government contracts, you just got to show the ability to provide those services that are requested in that contract. You don't even have to have the people. So what they do is that they contract to a subcontractor to a subcontractor to a subcontractor. Huh?
I get mine right off the top.
And by the time it gets to us, it's $40-$50 breakfast. And he scoped money on Halliburton. Oh my God.
Man. Sure. Of course, yeah. It's a big club, and you ain't in it, as somebody once
But
said.
you got to have the breakfast. At least you got to have the breakfast.
Right. Yeah, well, the food was good, but I don't know. You know what's funny is, man, it looked like chicken. It visually looked like fried chicken, but when I bit into it, it just didn't taste like fried chicken.
It wasn't chicken.
We're talking about it today from $40 to think about it from back then.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
Goodness gracious.
That's probably
$100 for a can of Spam. What in the world is going on with Biden's America?
Hey, I'm tired of paying $12 for a watermelon. Good God. I'm going to start growing in my backyard.
They're good.
All right, guys.
Later, man.
Have a good one.
See you, Soldier Boy.
272-9228. Yeah, I mean, maybe, we could give Spam to the protesters. But we're seeing here on the screen at Northwestern, failed to provide a safe campus. Students sue Northwestern over anti-Israel protests.
Then they should say, you know what, you're right, here's $1, get the hell out of here. Go find you a safe campus somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
But I think this is the countersuit to the protesters. And, like, say, if this happened at Auburn, I'd be like, would I feel unsafe? No.
No.
Like, I wouldn't feel unsafe. I would just go about my day. That's why I never lived on campus. Just hang out in the apartment. I go to class.
Would you go argue with him? Or if you ran through one on the way to class, would you bother say anything, or would you just say,
No, Auburn would have that occasionally. People setting up booths trying to argue. I'm like, this
not even dropping a stink bomb or nothing?
It's just like, okay, y'all can go play intellectual grab ass, and I'm fine.
Did you meet most of those people, or did you find most of those people to be sincere or just misguided?
Some are sincere and misguided, both. And then some are, the ones I did stop for just to kind of watch the mayhem were the fire and brimstone preachers. Like I've told this story before, but there's one guy on Auburn's campus and he was literally calling all the women whores.
Oh, wow.
And like, he was going at it.
Yeah, I probably would have stopped for that one too.
And like all these frat boys are sitting there arguing with him, trying to argue theology and, scriptural analysis. And I was just like,
that would have been a good one.
I was just laughing at all this. And I did one day ask him a question. I go, is the power and majesty of God fully contained in that book you're holding? He goes, what? It's the power and majesty of God. Is God contained to just that book? And I'll add your understanding of that book. And he goes, like every time he had a quick answer to everybody else, all this stuff. And he kind of goes, no. I'm like, thank you, sir. I see him like a day or two later, just walking around, not yelling stuff. And I walk up to him, or he walks up to me, he goes, where's the bathroom here? I'm like, here's the Haley Center. Here, I'll show you. If I can walk with you, let me ask you something, sir. Yeah. Do you like call people whores and all these awful names, like fraternities, dens of sin and all that stuff, just get a rise out of folks so that you can engage them in conversation? He goes, oh, yeah.
100%.
Right. He's the most chill, nicest guy.
He was honest with you both times.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
What more can you ask for?
Well, yeah, there was some honesty there, too. Like, my brother was a Tiger host. I know what happened. How do you get recruits? Interesting.
Maybe we could talk.
No, it wasn't official.
Those
It's just young kids.
Those are the best kind. The unofficial.
How about this? Let's hit a quick break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Do you or a loved one have leg pain? Are your legs feeling tired? Do you have heavy skin discoloration? Do you have leg wounds or varicose veins? Are your legs swelling or do they have spider veins? If you're experiencing any vein issues, contact the professional caring staff at Ivy Creek Vein Clinic. They can help. Call 334-514-3851. Ivy Creek Vein Clinic, located at 525 Hospital Drive, Suite B in Wetumpka.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
In Alabama, more than 200,000 of our family members and friends are living without health coverage. Often folks can't stay healthy enough to keep their jobs. We need to fix this. It's time for us to find a way to close the health care coverage gap so that folks can remain in their jobs. Where there's a priority out there, we as Alabamians have always found a way to achieve it. Contact Governor Kay Ivey and let her know. Now is the time to close the coverage gap and cover Alabama.
Paid for by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Oh, look, Mitch McConnell's on the TV virtue signaling. Time for the administration to act on the border. Hey, Mitch, you had this thing called leverage before, but you're so beholden to the military-industrial complex, or you literally believe that all the BS you spilled, one of the two, that you gave away the leverage, and now you can just go to the camera before the elections and go, well, we're trying to get them to do a thing.
He forgot all that when he froze up.
Yeah.
Twice.
I wouldn't call Mitch McConnell a stupid old man, but he's certainly an old man at this point. Let's go to Crawdad. Hey, Crawdad.
I just wanted to say something. I hear Soldier Boy on often. I have to call back. I did not know some of the details, but I just wanted to thank him for his service to being a patriot to this country and making it home. I had a dear friend who was a sergeant in Signal Corps who was over there before everything went down. Soldier Boy probably understand when I say Signal Corps was there a week before we were there. Secondly, my friend, when he did come back home, he did tell me information that most people knew at the time, that there were certain chemical compounds used against us and others. When my friend came home, he was advised after several months that the strange things that was happening under his skin were probably meaning that he did not need to make babies for a while, and they had to hold off until some kind of strange thing was going on with him. That did not kill him. It did affect his life. He retired out on the medical for other reasons that happened in the Bosnia-Herzegovina thing. My friend, I think of him often, and when Soldier Boy was telling what he said, he is absolutely by, because you cannot imagine how easy it is to hide things in cargo containers all over the place and mark them so that when Hans Blitz, who was the inspector who said, oh no, we found nothing, no weapons of mass destruction, he was being so specific about his words. We're not talking about thermonuclear device. We're talking about things that kill millions of people chemically. I consider that to be the ability to wipe out the entire Kurdish population, which Saddam Hussein had already tried with mustard gas. And the reason that still is in effect, this children who had children, the mustard gas changes the DNA so that when your family passes this down, it's just like you had something. Yes, that is weapons of mass destruction. And there were cargo containers filled with things that he got from different places, including us.
Yeah, but all this stuff was known as after the first Gulf War, for instance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when somebody stands there and puts his hand on a Bible and swears, let's say he is the head of the NSA. Yeah, right. I have lost complete trust in my government. I trust God. I do not trust my government. You guys keep on doing what you're doing. I don't know how I could make it through the day without having this radio station to keep me tuned in, turned on, and keep my mind awake, and I still pray. That is so important. Tell people, please, pray, because this goes back so far when you talk about Israel. This goes back, the war that we're dealing with in this world today is the same war that we had dealing with the God of only one God. The name will probably ring a bell when you hear this. Somebody decided it'd be a good idea, we'll name a bomb and we're going to call it Moab. And they're going to mother of all bombs. That's not what that meant. Moab was a king in the Canaan land, vast Canaan against Israel. Moab, King Moab. Look it up. This war is bigger than you think. God bless.
God bless you, brother. Got to hit this top of the hour break. I believe we have Angela Shepard calling in. She was the one trying to help Shepard through this bill that would have post-election audits automatically triggered. Well, it was held up by one senator, and we're going to get the story straight from Angela after the top of the hour break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A heavy line of storms swept into Atlanta near the end of the morning rush hour. Hub airports in Georgia and North Carolina reporting delays. The National Weather Service cites an enhanced risk for severe weather from Texas to South Carolina. And the storms continuing a streak of severe weather this week from the plains to the Midwest and now the Southeast. A shipment of humanitarian aid has left a port in Cyprus and is on its way to the U.S.-built pier in Gaza, the first delivery to the newly built ramp. Despite being indicted on charges of bribery, money laundering, and working on behalf of a foreign government, Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar is not facing widespread calls for his resignation. The Dow is ahead 245 points, the NASDAQ up 48. This is SRN News.
Honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay. Of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/gold to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/gold and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
A tornado watch continues in effect for much of central Alabama. Showers and thunderstorms likely today. Could be some damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour and maybe up to 2-inch in diameter hail. That's pretty big. Also the threat of a couple of tornadoes as well. Stay weather aware. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action. High today up to about 88 with a low tonight down to 69. Another round of severe weather in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, and our weather app will keep you on top of that as well. Much cooler air will follow. We'll be in the 50s by Friday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Inspired by the Carly Russell kidnapping hoax, Alabama lawmakers passed legislation Wednesday to stiffen penalties for making a false report to law enforcement. Currently a Class A misdemeanor, the new legislation would increase filing a false report to a felony. Governor Kay Ivey is expected to sign the bill today. On Wednesday, Attorney General Steve Marshall filed to block the Biden administration's recent changes to Title IX law. The changes add gender identity and sexual orientation to the list of federally protected groups, which could abolish the distinction between male and female sports. Governor Kay Ivey signed Senate Bill 270, promoting government transparency and accountability on Wednesday. The governor's office stated that signing the bill into law marks another step toward improving transparency and accessibility to state government. The new law will take effect October 1st. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Looking for a delicious and creative way to cater your next party, event, or office lunch? Let Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery take the worry out of it for you. Sandwich trays, turkey casserole, hickory smoked or roasted turkey with your favorite classic sides. So many options, all homemade and delicious, just the way you expect. Visit Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery at the corner of Carter Hill and Vaughn Roads, or call 334-215-7775. Eat turkey. Feel perky.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views. in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, or as we're calling the show online, because that's my name, Joey Clark Live. You can go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube or go to the X platform at the Joey Clark.
Will it have your picture on it? How do I know it's Joey Clark?
Yeah, they're my pictures. That's the voice of Eddie Bader for folks just tuning in. And we also have now a reoccurring co-host, let's say.
Some days.
Byron Sheehy's here.
Whenever I can make it. Thanks for having me.
I know that feeling.
Any more French words we need to work out?
Man, I still got that one I'm working on.
Bourgeoisie?
Man,
I thought we said it was just bougie.
Yeah,
bougie.
We're good with that, We're going to shorten it up.
Yeah, but you're all so white.
I'm very white. I
Coming
didn't
from
realize
the
how
pale
much.
ale that you are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I've gotten on to you. You use all these terms. Like, this one day, he's like, all good in the hood. I'm like, really? Chisholm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like it.
I can't help it. I speak jive. Don't get mad at me. Don't hate.
That's why people have a problem with us. Hey, let's get serious for a moment, because there's a bill that I supported. I thought was a pretty common sense good idea. And one of the lovely people pushing this forward was not an elected official. Her name is Angela Shepard. She was helping push it through the legislature. Angela joins us now on the phone. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Well, I'm great, but disappointed.
This is the disclaimer I always give. I'm personally great, but the news and the politics is awful. So this looked like you were right at the finish line, and yet this has now been carried over. For folks who don't understand what we're talking about, lay it out for them.
Well, so it was HB 259, and just a glimpse of it is, an overview would be to do post-election audits after general elections. And we are one of the last states to make a law that we do post-election audits, and which is interesting that the ES&S company that we use as a vendor actually in their manual and in a, I think it was in a Congress setting or something, meeting that they were having, stated that they want you as states to do audits to make sure that the machines are working properly, or that the numbers come out, whatever. And we thought we had a great bill. We brought it real late in the session of 23. We brought it back this year with Representative Debbie Wood, who did all she could, and we fought hard, and we really thought we were going to be able to cross that finish line, and kind of got a little bit sideswiped yesterday on the Senate floor, for sure.
So, I mean, and it sounded like there were plenty of people in the Senate. For instance, I'm sure I have disagreements with him, but Greg Albritton seemed to be saying very nice things, and he laid out a summary of it comparable to yours. And it seems like a common sense review process. Right. That way shouldn't be controversial. It allows us to improve our elections if there are any problems whatsoever. So why did it fail? What does carryover mean?
So pretty much because it was like the next to last day of the session. I mean, typically, I guess you could have carried it over and it could have been brought back up at any time during the session, but because we were at the end, there's no time to do that. And so we will just have to work on it again. The biggest thing I want everyone to understand is I'm not going away. This will continue. We did everything that we possibly thought we could do, with meeting with probate judges, with the Alabama County Commission Association, and having all these different meetings where we compromised with them more than what I really wanted to, but I was willing to because I thought it was that important of a bill, because I felt like for Alabamians, we needed a post-election audit. And as you heard, Senator Stutz, who came up there to the mic to carry it over, I mean, he's like, well, my probate judge tells me that everything's great. And I'm sitting there from the gallery thinking, okay, because someone tells you it's great. So you're going to go and you're going to buy a car. I'm sorry, I'm just using this example, but you're going to buy a car sight unseen. You're going to give them the $50,000 and they're just going to tell you that car runs exactly how you wanted it to. And you just give them the money and you walk away and you take that car and you drive away, not even checking it, getting a mechanic. Right. And that's kind of how I feel like with these machines. We're not auditing these probate judges. We're auditing these machines.
Right. Well, and it's to help augment the probate judges be able to do their job into the future. And also, like, when in the history of politics has anybody in political office ever been like, actually, I'm doing kind of a crap job at this. I'm not doing a good job. Of course they're going to say they're doing a good job. And
of course.
So Larry Stutz, who I thought would have been solid on this, that's surprising.
I think there was probably some things going on that, of course, like someone like me and even Representative Wood wouldn't have seen or whatever. I was grateful for the House, for my representative, Joe Lovern. To be quite honest with you, I mean, we got it further than I could have ever imagined. I mean, of course, I was hopeful from the get-go that we would be able to see it through, but to be able to get it to that point, as much as it's a gut punch and I'm like, completely heartbroken over it, it just makes me want to push harder and to help these elected officials to understand what the audit was actually going to do. I mean, I understand that some of them got up there yesterday and were like, well, there's no problems. Well, are you looking? Are you you working these elections? Are you seeing these machines? I mean, we don't use printers that are 10 to 15 years old, but yet we're using machines that are stored in barns and whoever else knows across the state of Alabama, and no one wants to look into them. Now, you tell me, it kind of seems like something a little bit fishy, and I'm going to say this, Joey, to you, because I want to applaud you for asking Secretary Allen point blank about this bill, because to be honest with you, that was the only time it ever came from him. And I am so thankful that you did that. But at the same time, I really don't know what to think of what happened yesterday. I don't know Senator Stutz, and that's something I would like to work on over this off season as we move to hopefully bring this back next session, is to really meet with these senators and the House. We had such great support in the House, and I just was really hopeful and thinking that we could really finish it yesterday, but unfortunately we didn't get there.
Is there any way that we could add the primary to this next session, or was that one of the compromises that had to be made?
Good question.
Well, so the primary wasn't even okay. This was another thing that I think was kind of going on behind the scenes. So I don't know if y'all remember back in 22, we voted on a constitutional amendment that stated that we would not change election laws within 6 months of elections. So that deadline was May 5th. Now, speaking to the former Secretary of State, I don't know that he thought maybe that we could get, that might not be, that we could have gotten over that hump, and still used it for the November 24 election. But, that would have been May 5th, which meant they would have had that on the floor last week. So as the bill was written, it was the general elections. We didn't add primary into it. We only did general. Like we had a Senate race here in the primaries by one vote. I'd have to think about that or talk to some other people about the primaries. But for now, the bill just was referring to the general election.
In my humble opinion, that's where a lot of shenanigans actually do happen.
Yeah. And, and I know a lot of people were disappointed with me, not me, but disappointed with us and how we had to change the bill, because I know a lot of people wanted the hand counting only, get rid of the machines and stuff. But I'm telling you, they weren't in these meetings. They weren't hearing all this stuff, attorneys and dealing with everybody, that this would affect,
Right.
And so we felt like our compromise was that we would allow them to be able to they could choose. They could hand count, or they could use a machine that was not used in the election. And, in my opinion, I think when you audit, you should be using a different procedure. But I was willing to compromise, and I would say that I felt like we did everything. We came to them, we listened to their, what they had to say, and, not that we agreed on everything, because there was a lot of back and forth, but I really thought that we had come to a good place where we could all agree that moving forward, this is really about the integrity of elections, of transparency and accuracy. It's not saying someone's doing something bad. It's not saying that probate judges aren't doing great things. I'm just saying that we should be auditing our elections. We audit everything else we do. And the least we could do is audit elections, just like most of the other parts of the country.
Well, at least, big margin, 88-6 there, getting it through the House. And it's a shame that it didn't get over the hump this year. I think Byron's point about primaries is a very good one.
This may be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. And so, maybe next year. I know it's disappointing, but I think this is also people seeing how the sausage is made, and like they say, it ain't pretty.
No, it's not. It's been a learning experience to say the least. And I mean, I was in Montgomery so much and learning and being in the state house and on the floor. I mean, not on the floor, but in the halls and talking. And I mean, that's really, I feel like how we got it moved the way we did. And just with a lot of hard work. And again, Debbie Wood, hats off to her and to my representative Joe Lovern, who I don't think I could have done it without him either. And I'm forever grateful to them to taking on someone who just came to them with an issue of copied ballots and had this was an issue, and they, came and supported it. So.
Well, I appreciate your time and giving us the latest on this, Angela, and let's stay in touch about this and many other election issues.
Okay, sounds good, Joey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, folks, Angela Shepard. Yeah, that's disappointing because I guess it was a couple years back. It was like 21, 22. Angela and then Ashley was also they were moms who were just wanting to get involved, like they sort of had an awakening during 2020. Mm-hmm. And so you're hearing a person who's very new to the legislative process, who that's getting that vote in the House is a major victory. Somebody so new to politics. Mm-hmm. So it is frustrating though to see, because I've seen this before, and I hate to be the cynical dog, but I am one. I just am. That you get these folks who really mean well, who are fighting the good fight, putting in a lot more work than, say, somebody like I does, and then they keep running up against this wall of sort of these political realities of our system.
I mean, it happens more often than not. I mean, Tennessee just passed term limits resolution for Congress.
Yeah.
And I know that we've been fighting there for at least 6 cycles.
Wow.
But this is ridiculous. Even Walmart will check your receipt when you go to leave. But you can't audit the vote. And especially with the contentious elections we just had, and we're probably fixing to have again, you don't think you don't think they know what they're doing.
They'll probably put something up like some extreme or extravagant cost. This is how much it'd be, and we don't want to put that on the taxpayer.
I think I heard part of that too.
But I guarantee you, if you randomly chose, 7 precincts from each county and cut down the cost and randomize those counties so that no one knows who's going to be under the microscope,
right?
You'll still have the positive impact.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's all you'd have to do.
272-9228, folks. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're Cole Plumbing. James and his team are ready to help you with all your plumbing problems. Of course, if you have a big leak inside or outside your home, Cole Plumbing has this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you in your home to get in there and solve the problem.
That's right.
It means they're not going to have to tear out a bunch of drywall, make a big mess inside, or dig up a huge hole or trench. You've seen it, Eddie, where they're just trying to find it, just making a big muddy mess. Not with Cole Plumbing. And of course, they can also help you with everyday plumbing problems, from clogged drains to low water pressure, even tree root invasion. Or it could be you just want to upgrade, say a tankless water heater system or like a bidet, which I hear is nice.
Or a taller toilet would be nice. As we get older, getting tired of my knees popping every time I go to sit down.
Right.
Maybe a taller toilet would help with that.
Yeah. If you're up there in age, or you're Eddie, you may need one of these taller toilets. So give them a call today, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I meant it, but, Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, what up, dog?
How y'all doing?
All right. About to play some Hillary Clinton. You ready?
Oh, God. What did I do to you?
Yeah, for real. For real.
I mean, I know I pick at you, but come on, Joey. You're gonna make me go hardcore. You're gonna start.
And then after that, we got Senator Brett.
Jesus Christ!
Hey!
That's it. Hey, he is alive, so you deal with it however you want to. Put on your big boy pants. It's okay.
Well, especially these days, getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
Elastic belt.
Hey, I think y'all are wrong for picking on old Biden there.
Yeah, stupid old man.
Yeah, especially about the crypto thing. I mean, the guy looks like the crypt keeper. He thinks y'all are coming after him.
We are.
I mean, y'all have to be rational about these things. And we all know that the Democrat Party is a very rational group of people. And they're just looking out for their own.
Right.
And nobody wants to see him in a coffin, so got to tone it down with the the crypto stuff right there. You know what I mean? That's a big deal for that guy. What else were y'all talking about? Y'all were talking about.
I'm just thinking he has no idea what he's talking about with that. They give him talking points. They give him a little bit of ice cream and say, hey, if you do good, we'll give you some tapioca when you get back.
They need to put a shot call on him. Every time he starts going off the hinge, you just light him up and he gets all mad and.
His heart couldn't take
Right, his heart couldn't take the first one, even on the lowest setting.
Well, to change the topic, if you're groping for another one, did you see that Ann Coulter told Vivek to his face that I agree with you more than any other candidates, but I never vote for you because you're an Indian?
Oh,
and you're a horse-faced, butt-ugly female dog.
All the words that you want to use, punt on that decision, Eddie.
Never liked her, just never been a fan. And even though she has pretty good talking points sometimes, I cannot stand her.
Well, I mean, at least she said what she meant. I mean,
No, and that's what Vivek said. He said, I appreciate her being honest, so I really don't agree with her.
I mean, she's walking real life clickbait.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
Well, I mean,
I still can't believe
No, they talked for an hour. And Vivek held his own just fine, and he didn't get all off the handle or anything.
I can't believe no one's ever taken a pie and smashed her in the face with it.
Mm-hmm.
Need a step stool.
Hey, that crypto, isn't that kind of like paying with if you pay with stocks? Isn't that? See, I think the problem with the crypto. Yeah, if I'm going to pay you with Apple stocks, how many do I have to give you to buy a car?
Well, a couple of years ago.
Well, it depends on the
becoming
crypto.
popular.
It depends on the crypto.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, people were bragging that they were accepting Bitcoin, and then somebody put the kibosh on that because a lot of that kind of went away. At one point, you could buy a house with Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, isn't that essentially the same thing? The whole problem is the government hasn't figured out how to manipulate somebody else's
yes
stock.
Yeah,
They've
that's it right
designed for them not to manipulate, right? That's the problem.
Yep.
So
Well, and I would say the
ourselves
vast
in here.
majority of your cryptocurrencies out there are scams or are crap coins, or they use the S word online. Yeah, there are some that are not Bitcoin that I find fascinating that probably will last because they're built in a particular way. They could be really great for, like, if a city wanted to issue bonds backed by a particular token and by Bitcoin and things like, they could do some really interesting stuff with the new tech. So to throw this all out and to do it, the thing is, there's plenty of concerns to be had here. How does this fit into our current financial net structure and infrastructure and whatnot? But you can't just have bureaucrats unilaterally who do not have the power to regulate this new technology making decisions and then pretending we're a democracy. Would that convince those people that you can't? They just look at you.
Yeah. That dumb puppy look.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Why don't we pass a law that you can't manipulate the currency and devalue your own currency, and then I bet the crypto issue goes away. It's only here.
You can pass those laws all day long, but there's no one to enforce them. Who's going to enforce them? You can have all these laws, folks. Or they could just say, like they said with Biden, we're not going to prosecute it.
No, I like that, Eric. Castration for currency manipulators. I like it.
Right. Cut them off. Cut them off at the hip.
Be careful. Like you always told me, Joey, be careful what you ask for. You might be the one up there getting castrated, buddy.
Here's the thing to think about. Whenever you want a law, just imagine it as a loaded weapon, and imagine that you're going to hand that loaded
back
weapon
on you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Eddie, it
How
might be a
comfortable are you?
godsend, and how that concern's gone now. Appreciate it, Eric. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Steve. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about something local. I've been here in Montgomery, Alabama for 2.5 years. It's a great city. But what bothers me is I go on Ann Street from Walmart all the time, and I see the track, the running track. I think the school's name is Speedland High School. It also used to be known as Robert E. Lee High School.
Yeah.
And the track is terrible, got holes, got pits, everything else. And I saw the track team about a month and a half ago running around the track. And, it's kind of dangerous for, sprained ankles or something like that. And I called the Montgomery Public School superintendent and said, well, thank you for telling me. But I also talked to Julie Beard, the councilman, too, for the city of Montgomery. She used to work at the school for 25 years, and she said, well, just let the kids run around the holes. I mean, that's kind of insensitive, what I'm thinking from Julie Beard, and something's got to be done. I know football is king, and they do football out there in the middle of the track, but something's got to be done, and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, it might have something to do. It might be more at the state level how they're actually earmarking funds, or could there be a supplemental at the local
that's
level?
Just a school.
Yeah,
issue.
The school is just
that's school saying. we
my
don't
sense,
care.
Steve, is where I'm coming from is they have the money, and it's just how it's being allocated.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't think they care. I don't think the school cares.
Wait,
You know?
That's a shame.
yeah, and a shot.
Well, and before we let you go, Steve, what brought you to Montgomery about 2 years ago?
Well, my daughter works from home, so we found a nice house out here in Colorado. I mean, in Montgomery. I mean, the houses in Colorado Springs were like $300,000-$400,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on an 1/8 acre of land. We got a house for we got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom on a 1/4 acre lot. I mean, a 1/3 of an acre lot for $210,000, and that would be like $600,000 or $700,000 in Colorado Springs if you could find it.
Wow!
And we love it. We love it down here. The people were nice and got that Southern style hospitality. My wife doesn't have to use oxygen on a tube running around the house, and we love it down here.
Well,
It's a great city.
That's beautiful to hear, and welcome, and and welcome to the community too. Seeing a lot of the little issues that do need to be met, but I appreciate the call and appreciate you listening, Steve.
If you hang out on Ann Street, you can pretty much see all of our issues. Just stay there long enough.
Oh yeah.
This is very true.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me talk about the track. It just something has to be done, and I don't know where to go, and I feel frustrated every time I drive by.
Yeah, I used to live over in Capitol Heights. I drive by it every day, and you're exactly right. So, thanks, sir.
All right. Have a great day, Joey.
Good to hear from.
Yeah, call us back, Steve.
Yeah, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, but I didn't think about the altitude aspect. I wonder how us three would do there.
I've been up there a couple times. At Pikes Peak, like when you're going up, they'll take you a break on the way up so you can kind of get used to the altitude. But
I went for the changing of the leaves a few years ago. It was fun.
I mean, Colorado is just beautiful.
Aspen's insane. Like, that's not a real place.
Aspen.
That's like stupid imaginary money.
Where the beer flows like wine.
Yeah.
Where the women flock like the salmon of Capistrano or something. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love that line, where the beer flows like wine.
Flat.
Yeah. We got to hit a break.
All right.
We'll be right back, folks. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If what you like is getting the highest payouts, getting the most free play, and finding more of your favorite games all on a spacious upscale gaming floor, then Wind Creek Atmore is your kind of fabulous. No matter what fabulous means to you, you'll find it here. Wind Creek Atmore. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Honey, I got my bonus check today.
That's great, sweetheart.
Let's book that Hawaiian vacation right now.
Actually, I was thinking more like an electrical upgrade for our house.
What?
It's not all that glamorous, but updating your home's electrical system is a great investment, enhancing its value and your safety. The panel and wiring in most older homes were not designed to meet modern demands. The experts at Crosby Electric can update your system to give you peace of mind.
Sorry, honey, but I just want to feel safe in my own home.
Faulty wiring and electrical equipment are among leading causes of most home fires. Crosby Electric will make sure your panel, meter, circuit breakers, and receptacles are up to date.
I can just see us lying on the beach at Waikiki.
And I can see us lying in our own bed, knowing we're safe.
Okay, but next year...
I'll dance the hula in a grass skirt.
All right.
Sleep well with no electrical worries. For a free home assessment, visit crosbyelectric.com.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. In 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. As we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. You know, Eddie, I actually have this song right here, this portion. This one's pretty much finished.
Oh, yeah?
With a vocal and everything on it.
It's going to be on your new EP?
Yeah, I suppose.
I hope so. Going to be like third track in?
Actually, it will be the third track.
Good idea.
Wow,
When
you
you
nailed it.
When you arrange them, do you come with your heat up front, or do you save that for somewhere in the middle?
My heat?
Yeah.
I'm a record head, man. Like where you put your song on the album.
Put the hottest thing you got.
Track
one.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't
Really?
The number one, the hit, picking the hit is very different than how you sequence an album.
Right. But on your first album, I would think you would, like Brian was saying, you come out of the gate with good stuff. And then you end the album. There's going to be EP, so 5 songs.
And do albums really exist anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like currently being pressed, yes.
Oh, yeah, vinyl is definitely still around.
That's the only way they make it in Jamaica. They still do vinyl. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's so cheap that, like, say you do a crappy one, they just ball it up. They throw it in that vinyl recycling. Do it again.
Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, in reference to the last caller, aren't they going to close Lee? Aren't they going to build a new high school?
I don't know.
I knew they closed Lanier,
Right.
but
this is the last year for Lanier, isn't it?
Yeah, this last graduating class. My senior class had right at 700 people in it. Lanier used to be one of the largest high schools in the state, and they did the same thing to it that they're doing to Lee. They just let it deteriorate, and that's why when you want to not say anything about taxes for schools, and then they just let them deteriorate, and they don't do any preventative maintenance, and they just it becomes an eyesore. And I just wish that gentleman that called, I wish he could have seen Montgomery back in the glory days when those schools, when they were running, state outdoor relays on them and everything. And I mean, it was just, they cared. You had PTA involvement. You had businesses that cared. And I mean, it's just sad to see them deteriorate like that. And especially to say Lanier closed after, it opened in 1929, and so many successful people have gone through that school.
Well, to answer your question, here's an article from WSFA, April 5th, 2023. Montgomery Public Schools will build the replacement for Robert E. Lee High School off of Northeastern Boulevard. So maybe they are going to let it go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And right now it's been, renamed Percy Julian High? Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have to constantly remind myself.
Man, that's going to be a haul, Northeastern Boulevard.
Yeah, especially if you were, like, growing up in Capitol Heights or Highland Gardens. It's going to be a heck of a ride, man.
Well, it's just we keep doing things like this and getting kids away from their neighborhoods, and then the parents can't go check on the kids, and they may not have transportation. Instead of improving the school and the neighborhood, rehabbing the school and making it easier for parents to walk to the school and check on them. I mean, used to you could close your eyes and stick your finger on the map of Montgomery, and there was a pretty good school, public school, in walking distance to where you wanted to buy a home. And they just keep doing stuff like this and just keep making it harder on parents to be involved in the schools. But anyway, that's
Well, and what's crazy, and we all know this living here, but recent review nationwide of high schools, like one of the number ones is here in Montgomery, and then some of the worst are here in Montgomery.
Right. Which one was?
I think Lamp was one.
Lamp was one. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you some days.
Let's go to Jean real quick. Hey, Jean, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How's Miss Lucy doing?
She's doing wonderful, and my brother is bringing her to visit here in like a week or so.
Excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm looking forward
How
to it,
old
Jean.
is she now?
She's about 6 months, I think.
Is she? Well, you ought to enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm getting photos and videos sent my way. She's adorable. Making all
Is
sorts
she
of
beautiful?
noises and faces and making a mess while eating, all sorts of things.
Deal.
I had twins.
Oh, wow.
Well, first I had a boy, and then I had twins. So I had three going at one time.
Goodness.
How'd you make it?
Barely.
Well, since none of them are listening, which one was your favorite?
All of them.
There you go.
Still a mama.
Yeah.
A drunk driver killed my son.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, man, Gene.
And he got off scot-free.
Mm.
Well,
Okay, darling, I just wanted to call you and check on Lucy.
Happy Mother's Day.
I know Joey's going to be posting some pictures, too.
thank you, Gene. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. And that's sad.
Yeah.
Let's go to Joey from Prattville. Hey, Joey from Prattville.
What's up, bud?
What's happening, brother?
Another day, another $10 in debt.
I'm right there with you, man. Don't feel bad about that one. I was actually calling about the 3 callers ago, the one that had just come to Montgomery a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One, he had to have really moved from a bad neighborhood if this is better. I understand cheaper, but there's a difference between cheaper and better. There's kind of a reason you can buy a house real cheap over there right now. As far as the Lee High School, I was touching on it as well. It will close, but the main reason they're closing it is they plan on redoing Congressman Dickinson all the way from basically around where Federal is and everything, bringing it all the way down that whole intersection. It won't be an offset turn no more. There'll be a straight drive through from Congressman to Ann Street.
That makes sense because they bought those and leveled those apartments that had been there forever. On
They
the corner.
leveled those apartments right there on the corner.
Yep. That makes sense.
And all that little office building thing next
Yep.
to it, once their lease is up, they can't build either
Mm.
or renew. But none of this is going to take place. They ain't even broke ground on the new school yet. So,
right.
I mean, you're looking at least 2 fiscal years out before it happens. One of the deciding factors for moving the school instead of just sliding it back a little bit, because it was a plan, I happen to see the 25-year projected plan for Montgomery. That's how I know this. But the reason they want to relocate it is it being so close to where Capitol is right there, and they were having a bunch. You know that, Eddie, you're probably aware of it. You know there's a tunnel that goes under Atlanta Highway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them.
I remember the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right. With the crime and the assaults and the drug activity that was mingling between those 2 schools, they were actually blaming Lee older students for having a negative impact on the younger middle school students as well.
I remember
So
that
they
being the
wanted-
case when I was in junior high school at Capitol Heights. They used to always tell us, it was the high schoolers that were
Hey,
ruining the tunnel.
Yeah,
It was.
so they're wanting to redo a lot of that and try to spread some of that out. Myself, I think it's kind of a good idea. Yeah, it might be a little bit further trek, but you're talking about moving a high school. Those kids it ain't like you're moving an elementary that requires parents to shuttle them back and forth as much. These are high school kids. They can drive. They're old enough to get on a bus, take the Montgomery Transit, whatever. All they're going to do is go straight down Coliseum to Northern Boulevard, closer to where 231 is.
I mean, you're going from one end of the road to the other. It's not a big deal as far as the location. But the main reason is because of the rebuilding of Congressman Dickinson tying into Hampshire.
Now, where are they talking about putting it? It's not going to be in the plume, is it?
No, it's not going to be done.
And it ain't in the future of the plume, is it? Because that land over there is pretty cheap. Because there's the plume.
I haven't seen the exact location they're wanting to do it.
Well, that'd be interesting.
I mean, they're talking about that area, and there's a lot of building going up out that way right now. Capital Tractor's putting a new office out that way. I know Sunbelt's planning on moving from off of 231 South, going out of town. They're coming over to Northeast Boulevard with a new office. I actually did that job. And there's, I want to say, 2 more gas stations that have entered bids to locate into that area. That whole little junction up there, that 231 North, about to blow up.
Hey, quick question for you. You said you saw a 25-year projected plan. When was this plan developed?
That is from 2020.
Okay. Well, a lot of changes. Well, and I appreciate you filling us in, Joey.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. 272-9228. I have to hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy a home, especially if you're a potential first-time home buyer. They start with you with pre-approval.
Right.
That way you can know, here's what your actual budget is. Here's how much you're good for in terms of financing. And that means sellers will take you a lot more seriously.
But of course.
But it's not just the pre-approval. Alabama Home Mortgage will walk with you every step of the way. So appraisals, inspections, as you get closer to closing day, they've got your back there at Alabama Home Mortgage. And of course, they can also help you with a great refinance deal. So if you are under a mountain of debt, or maybe you see a ripe opportunity to do improvements on your property or reinvest in your family or yourself in a particular way, the equity you've built up in your home is yours, and you can use it as you please. And it's a great strategy sometimes for just getting on a better financial footing. You know, we all make mistakes. Things come up, emergencies happen in life. So that credit card could have gotten away from you, and you're like, well, I just need to be back on a better footing, and it'll work itself out. Sometimes it's that simple, folks. And when you are trying to figure something like that out, you want to work with somebody like Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage, local folks that are actually getting to know you and your goals in either buying or refinancing. So call them today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Your health and well-being can quickly be impacted by changing weather. The Johnny Adams Law Firm wants you to remain safe and be weather alert with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
A tornado watch continues in effect for much of central Alabama. Showers and thunderstorms likely today. Could be some damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour and maybe up to 2-inch in diameter hail. That's pretty big. Also the threat of a couple of tornadoes as well. Stay weather aware. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action. High today up to about 88. With a low tonight down to 69, another round of severe weather in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, and our weather app will keep you on top of that as well. Much cooler air will follow. We'll be in the 50s by Friday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
Is spring cleaning making your floors feel, well, a little worse for the wear? Don't just clean them, upgrade them. Carroll's Carpet Flooring America can help you transform your home with beautiful new flooring and countertops. Carroll's Carpet is locally owned and operated, so you're supporting the community. At Carroll's Carpet, you'll get expert advice to help you find the perfect flooring, hardwood, carpet, laminate, tile, or even luxury vinyl. They'll work with you to create the exact look you've been dreaming of. Carroll's Carpet, new floors this spring, makes your whole home sing. CarrollsCarpet.com on the Northeastern Boulevard.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, owner of Smart Skin Med Spa and Salon. Are you looking for that perfect gift? Get that special someone a gift certificate to use on the services they love. Smart Skin Med Spa and Salon, the only salon, med spa, and day spa located in the heart of downtown Prattville.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River Region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
The grass is starting to grow, and you need to mow right now with 0% for 42 months. Retail financing on new Hustler zero-turn mowers. That's right. Qualified buyers can enjoy 0% for 42 months on qualifying Hustler zero-turn mowers. Come into Diesel Ace Hardware and get that Hustler Turf zero-turn lawnmower you've been dreaming of. They're located on US 31 North, just off the Pine Level exit. Qualified buyers with minimum purchase. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for complete details.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Jeff Deist, the former president of the Mises Institute, he'll be joining us a little after the 2 o'clock hour. And real quick, I've been sitting on this clip, and I just kind of want to annoy the audience out there.
Yeah.
This is, man, look at that pompadour. Joe Scarborough, and yeah.
I thought you were talking about Hillary's.
And that, oh no, Hillary's wearing that, like, royal purple.
It's nothing. There's nothing she can wear, really.
Yeah, that's the Scarborough look right there. Let's listen into this. Hillary, well, just being Hillary.
A determined demagogue, unfortunately supported by members of his political party, other enablers, people who care more about a future tax cut than the sanctity of the Constitution, are falling in line behind him. They are trying to excuse some of the most outrageous things that you just recited. And I don't think the press has done enough to basically say, okay, the circus is here. You can watch the circus. But let's tell you what that means. Let's talk to people who have a real understanding of how dictatorships evolve. Let's look at the people that he admires and what they've already done. You know, back in 2016, we didn't have interviews with him. We didn't have a track record of 4 years in office.
She's talking about Trump, of course, folks.
There was a lot of speculation, and, you know, I understood that people wouldn't take what I said necessarily as gospel about what I thought could happen. I get that. But now we know. We've seen him and we've heard him. And so we need to do a better job of making it absolutely clear that someone who says these things, you know, maybe he wouldn't jail all of his political opponents. One is one too many. Maybe he wouldn't try to force out of business the, you know, members of the press who didn't agree with him. One is one too many. We go down the line. And maybe this would be our last election. Because someone who will not accept the validity of an election is someone who doesn't believe in elections. He believes in his own power, his own right to power, and his demand that he be installed regardless of whether he gets the votes or not.
What an amazing masterclass in projection. Like, that, she was supposed to be installed.
Was she pot or kettle?
Right. Wow, man. As they're literally trying to jail him, they're like, he's going to jail people.
He's going to jail somebody.
Your ass ain't in jail.
Right.
Lady.
Although there were lots of chants. Lock her up.
Well, and somebody who denies an election. How did you
where
feel
do we
about
start?
2016?
Right.
The president, well, he's not really, he shouldn't be president because he committed treason by working with the Russians. And it's not just, politics is politics. You say a bunch of crap about your opponents. You didn't just say crap about Trump and the Russians. You used the powers of the national security state, along with all your buddies in the media.
But the, Constitution and all.
And yes, I would love if we actually got back to the Constitution.
Oh, we've done away with that document a long time ago. We bring it around for photoshops every once in a while. But other than that, no.
We don't
follow it.
We don't?
No.
Well, we kind of pretend to, though.
Well, we have to pretend. And again, we bring it out for
It's
photo
kind
ops.
of, the Constitution's kind of like the king in England right now.
Yes.
Like he's still officially the head of the state and the church and the armed forces.
But he
all
holds
that.
no power.
Right. It's ceremonial.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's what needs the president to become, just sort of like a Kardashian, but for politics in the nation. And then, the whole expert class just continues to run things. Oh, wait, that's how it works right now, for the most part. Except occasionally somebody gets elected and thinks they're actually in charge. And all the folks who really run the show don't like it. They don't like it one bit.
I wonder what would happen in that scenario.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder. 272-9228. Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
Hey, guys. That was pretty disgusting, Joey. And how can anybody that guilty talk about somebody else's guilt?
Right.
These are no conscience people anyway. They are
Welcome to
part of
America.
the Jeffrey Epstein party club. No. What complete trash the Clintons are. They're just damn white trash. Let me make a comment. Nobody mentioned the new high school is going to be named Percy Julian. I can't believe nobody even knows
I believe
that.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, that's so.
Oh, good. I'm sorry to hear it. And the high school is supposed to be completed in 2026. This plan to straighten Ann Street and hook it up to Congressman Dickinson Drive has been on the books for 22 years, guys. They pissed around this long. And just like the intersection where Mulberry meets Narrow Lane Road, is that another one of these ridiculously dysfunctional intersections? Mayor Todd Strange admitted they screwed up. They had a chance to buy that place where the sandwich shop is now. They didn't do it. If they'd have done that, they could have solved a lot of traffic problems. So, and it's supposed to be just a little bit north on the east side of the northern bypass, just north of where Popeyes and all that stuff is.
Okay.
So it's going to be a great thing, mostly to get high school off of Ann Street. That's been a traffic nightmare my whole damn life, Joey.
No, I believe it. No, and I used to live right over there. I know what you're talking about.
And just that damn intersection, the way the whole thing, it was dumb enough to even let that happen. You know what I mean?
I mean, my car was broken into like 3-4 times, and after they smashed the window,
Don't feel special, man. I live in Cloverville, and I've been broken into.
Oh, I know.
5 times.
Oh, yeah. Well, and plus I had that little BMW Roadster, so everybody thought I was rich. I'm like, no, that thing was like a few grand.
And Joey, let me say, this morning they announced the new Republican electors to the Republican Party in Florida, and one of them is Barron Trump.
I saw
You see
that.
the picture of Barron Trump next to his daddy?
Yeah. Yep.
Is he damn 7 feet tall?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen that.
They're angry at the wrong Trump.
Whatever they fed that boy, it damn sure is dynamite. So
Well, they are time travelers. I appreciate it, Red Top.
All right, roll tide, go Trump.
See ya. So I got a text from somebody a while ago that showed me the map of where the school is going to be, where the Jackson, the Harley Davidson, and all that. So it's right across the street there. But traffic on 231 to there sucks already.
Yeah, it does.
So I can only imagine how much better it's going to get.
Replacing one problem for another
You okay?
problem.
He's smacking his hand with that pen pretty hard.
We may need to revise the plan
think so. At least give us an alternative route, something. I'm looking at it now.
They'll put in a roundabout and that'll solve
Yeah,
everything.
another good roundabout. I don't know if you guys have seen the one out in Rifle Range Road area, that roundabout. You're not going to go through there one time. You're going to miss your turn no matter what. So go ahead and plan on turning around and going back through the roundabout. Even your GPS don't know which way to tell you to go.
Off Rifle Range?
Yeah, and it's not a direct roundabout. They put it just a little bit to the side, so there's going to be some nice accidents there too. There's going to be some jumpings of the roundabout.
No, I remember.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
funky.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Auburn
who
put
did
it
that?
together a nice roundabout to hit Wire Road. Like that.
That was
actually.
not
But
bad.
some people know how to use roundabouts and some people don't.
Here in Alabama, not so much. I don't know if in the ones in Arrowhead.
Well, people in Alabama don't know how to use the left lane on the interstate. Let's start there.
I'm ready for that conversation with you. I'd like to start pushing those folks out of the way.
Well, and I'm not usually one for more government, but can we get like a baseline inspection for certain vehicles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or drivers.
I'm not saying we got to go full Jersey. Yeah. Well, there's that.
Take the test again when you're 78.
Yeah, there might be some.
Or 13, because I see a lot of very young drivers out there that I know. There ain't no way they're 16, 17 years old. And even if they are, I know they ain't got no license. There's just no way.
Hey, well, when I was 13, Dad gave me the keys to go to baseball practice early in the morning. Yeah, but you lived in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And baseball practice was 1 block away.
Actually, I think my dad literally do that. His dad, my granddad, was just tired one day. You take the keys. Go.
Just go.
And they lived in the country. So.
Dad probably told you to go pick him up a pack of smokes, too.
Back in the day, you could do that.
It's almost like even with all the problems in the past, there was a little more like freedom. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Freedom?
Well, think of it as a kid. If you were a kid nowadays, you can't do the things you did when you were a kid. Ride bicycle, stay out till dark, wait till the street lights come on, throw eggs at cars and not expect trouble. You can't do those kind of things no more. That'll get you shot nowadays. Especially throw a car at my Mercedes. Throw a rock at my Mercedes. I might shoot somebody.
What about a lifted truck?
Nah, that's good. It blends in there. That's just another war wound,
Who's this
baby.
frat boy coming around the corner? Oh, wait, that's Eddie.
It's so funny because literally I'm 54 years old. I'm driving a truck that I think the oldest allowed you should be able to allow.
Can you get a horn installed that's La Cucaracha?
I want the Aruga.
And on that note, we got to hit this break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will stand alone if it has to, after a threatened U.S. arms holdup. Former Senator Jim Talon of Missouri says President Biden's threat to withhold arms shipments from Israel reflects his overall misunderstanding of dealing with foreign allies and adversaries. Republican Attorney General Dave Yost has advised Ohio's public universities that a law written to deter Ku Klux Klan demonstrations could be used to impose felony charges on students who wear face coverings during the pro-Palestinian protest. Say goodbye to the Chevrolet Malibu, the last midsize car made by Detroit automakers. It will be discontinued. On Wall Street, the Dow had 270 points, the Nasdaq up 40. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
A tornado watch continues in effect for much of central Alabama. Showers and thunderstorms likely today. Could be some damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour and maybe up to 2-inch in diameter hail. That's pretty big. Also the threat of a couple of tornadoes as well. Stay weather aware. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action. High today up to about 88 with a low tonight down to 69. Another round of severe weather in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, and our weather app will keep you on top of that as well. Much cooler air will follow. We'll be in the 50s by Friday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Make this spring your most productive yet with our package deal on Kubota's L2501 DT tractor with front loader, 5-foot cutter, and box blade, and 20-foot trailer at special spring savings. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
Severe storms that swept through parts of Alabama last night also wreaked havoc in central and southeast states. Tornadoes formed in Tennessee, killing 2 people there, as well as another twister killing 1 person in North Carolina. 16 people were injured in Kalamazoo, Michigan as a result of a twister, and power outages are also being reported in various states. In Alabama, a tornado has been confirmed to have landed and done damage in Gurley, which is east of Huntsville. Damaging hail along with these twisters have impacted the towns of Gurley, Woodville, Paint Rock, Maysville, Garth, Hampton Cove, and Brownsboro. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The Senate has killed a post-election audit bill offered by State Representative Debbie Wood. HB 259 was voted to carry over rather than go to the floor for a full vote. The bill was passed by the Alabama House just a few weeks ago with an 88-6 vote. The bill would have required a percentage of precincts in each county in Alabama to undergo a post-election recount of the ballots for at least 2 races, either by a hand count or using a different voting tabulator. The Alabama Teacher of the Year award has been bestowed upon a River Region school teacher, Deborah Stringfellow. The Elmore County teacher has been an educator for 40 years and is a first-generation high school and college graduate, receiving her degree from Troy University. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs presents the Riverbend Brew Fest Friday, May 17th in downtown Montgomery, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Union Station Train Shed. Brew Fest will feature a large selection of craft and specialty beers from local, regional, and national breweries. Free admission with tickets on site. Ticket price includes a commemorative tasting glass and will be benefiting the Riley Foundation. There'll be food vendors and a special performance by voice finalist Kurt J. For ticket information, visit mgmcityevents.com. Sponsored by Blue Water Broadcasting and the City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman. How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Stop playing with it.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. We have a full house today, both Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio. And also another friend joining us on the phone, we have the one, the only Jeff Dice. Jeff, how are you this afternoon?
Well, Joey, I'm enjoying this crazy weather and internet outages today.
Oh,
Yeah, luckily it hasn't affected us quite yet, but when we see our weatherman, Rich Thomas, in the middle of the day, we know we got problems.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. This is what makes Alabama not have to worry about water.
Very well said. Now, can we start with some like ancient Stoic wisdom? Because I saw you put this up on your Twitter, and it's making me, well, it's actually a lesson I've known, but I don't follow through with it. But it's how political life can just make people unhappy. And people ask me constantly, Jeff, how you doing? I'm like, well, personally, pretty well, but my job in the news has a way of making me miserable in a certain way.
Yes, and the reason for that is very simple, is because most of it is beyond your control. At most, you might have the ability to go out and have an influence on, let's say, a state or local election. Now, you have perhaps more influence than the average person because you happen to host a radio show,
right?
Of course. But beyond that, worrying about things that are beyond your control is what the Stoics talk to us about. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, and I'm refreshing a lot on this stuff as my kids go through Greek and Latin literature in their high school. So, when we talk about the lessons that we get from the ancients, one of those is to calm your mind and concern yourself with what's within your control. And, of course, the political life encourages us to do otherwise. It encourages us to be obsessed with the affairs of other people and the doings of other people. And I think there's something, I don't want to say that this is imposed on us, but I do think that we're encouraged in many ways by mainstream media and by the political class to lead political lives, to view the world through a political lens. Obviously, these kids protesting on college campuses are horrifically politicized at a young age, and I don't think it's very healthy for us. And of course, social media is where this really finds, I think, its greatest voice, and it's probably not a recipe for mental health and happiness to be as worried about politics as people are.
Yeah, and it does seem that the more we use politics, supposedly use it to solve problems, the worse the happiness meters keep going down. I think also social media has something to do with that as well. No matter, what do you think about that? We've been talking about it a lot this week. A lot of talk in Congress about, I don't agree with this, about banning social media for kids 13 and under, putting more restrictions, 17 and under. But beyond what the feds are pretending they're going to try to do, let's hope they don't. What do you make of this, say, social media revolution that really got going, say, in 2012?
Yes, I'm not sure we know exactly yet, because the generation that's coming of age, having never not had social media, let's say the under 20s, the Zoomers, have not yet reached adulthood. They haven't really gone to college. They haven't gone out in the workforce. So I think we're going to find out what that means for people's effectiveness in the real world, which is still out there, the brick and mortar world, the tangible world. So, yeah, look, as a parent of teenagers, obviously I worry about it. I don't think banning it is going to keep 17-year-olds away from it any more than it keeps them away from cigarettes or beer or other things that they might have an interest in. But I think it's telling that our political class is more concerned with the tech, the platforms themselves, than their own actions or their own culpability in creating a lot of the problems, let's just say, we have today. I mean, you can talk about the young people on college campus, you can talk about the reactionary right, you can talk about the woke left. I mean, all of these various groups have significant, and I would argue legitimate, beefs with the state of things. So we ought to be worrying about what is really broken, not the platforms by which we talk about what's broken.
And yet, when you see folks trying to fight the good fight, we talked about it earlier in the week too, this story that Thomas Massie put out about, the luncheon, I guess, with Antonin Scalia. And Scalia said, essentially, guys, it's not impeachment that's really your power there. You have the power of the purse. Stop funding all these things you don't like, and it won't happen. And yet, is it maybe because people are trained by media or other things, as soon as you might suggest any cut, a government shutdown, it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, you've been up there in the halls of Congress. How is it that the people in the House aren't actually using their power, the power of the purse?
It's very interesting that funding is supposed to originate in the House. All the funding bills, the appropriations bills, originally come out of the House, and then they're passed or altered in the Senate. And yet you never hear members of the House, especially leadership like this Mike Johnson guy, the new speaker, you never hear them talk about, hey, we're going to defund X, Y, and Z. And modern Congresses just don't do that. Now, when that power was created, when the Constitution was written, let's say the first 100 years of the United States, under that Constitution, there were actual limits on what Congress could spend, and that was what the Treasury had in its coffers, meaning tax receipts. And back then, there was no income tax. The tax receipts were mostly tariffs. And so the idea that you could spend beyond what was in the Treasury's coffers, that required Congress to come together and vote individually, singly, on borrowing some money. They don't do that anymore. They do these giant omnibus bills, and they pass big funding increases up to a certain amount. And a lot of the devil here is in the details. Spending bills come together in gigantic appropriations bills, gigantic what they call omnibus or minibus bills, which is when several different areas of appropriations get blended into one big bill. And so when you say, Thomas Massie doesn't want to fund X, Y, and Z, the problem is that the bill he actually gets to vote on will also include A, B, and C. And A, B, and C may be some things that are very important to his constituents, while X, Y, and Z may be some things that they don't care as much about, like arming Israel or Ukraine. So, spending bills are not parsed. They're generally not individualized. So it's really a tough environment for the House.
Yeah, and it just seems like such a broken system right now. And switching gears here, what do you make of the Libertarian Party inviting Trump to speak at their national convention?
Well, did he say yes?
I believe he said yes. They reached out to Biden, RFK, and Trump. Trump was the only one that responded, and he said yes.
Okay, and RFK said no?
I haven't seen a response from him.
Okay. Well, I suppose the Trump show still gets eyeballs. It's starting to feel like an old sitcom that repeats. Trump doesn't have a lot new. He seems older. He's trying to go back to the same pattern of speaking, the gotchas, the put downs, but none of it is as fresh as it once was. He seems very, very tired. He's clearly agitated beyond belief with this judge forcing him to be present in the courtroom for this trial involving Stormy Daniels and allegedly hush money and et cetera. So this is not the same Trump. He's 4 years older. He's 8 years older than when we first started to see him really in the presidential race. He's heavy set. He doesn't look like he's in great health. And this whole thing, I think, is it's a symptom. Trump versus Biden is a symptom that we as a country can't do better. And I think Trump had his purposes in 2016. I was rooting for him to upset the Bush-Clinton apple cart, but I think now he's worn out his welcome.
And yet, as much as you and I both were incredibly disappointed with RFK Jr.'s VP pick, what about this attack that's constantly coming at him? Like this, he has a worm in his brain thing, like huge hit piece on his health there in the New York Times. Stephen Colbert doing a whole monologue joke on him, little watched late night. They seem threatened by the man, even though they want to write him off as a kook.
Well, if he were taking votes away from Trump in their minds, or if there was polling to that effect, we would see the exact opposite. They would be talking about how he is an heir to the Kennedy legacy, how brave he is for having overcome his addictions, how open-minded he is in talking to the deplorables. So all of this is just purely political, and the fact that they're that worried about Joe Biden, even against a pretty hampered candidate in Trump, shows you that they know. Joe Biden is not a popular guy, and he's going to have trouble in the fall. And I think that what this is probably leading up to is that they, meaning the Democratic establishment, are going to watch the numbers very closely. And if things get really bad, I am convinced personally that they have no compunction about simply pulling him out of the race, having him come up with some speech at the convention saying, I'm withdrawing for health reasons, and then installing a candidate they think can win.
Yep, that's not Byron. You have a comment? You've just been saying that too.
Yeah,
okay.
we're on the same team here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then shifting gears once again to more cultural matters. I don't know if you watched the roast of Tom Brady at all, Jeff.
I heard about it.
Okay, so I felt like it was this weird cultural moment that was, number one, huge numbers, and it actually put on a pretty good show. But the sort of jokes that were being told, of course, it is a roast, but it seemed like if there was anything woke or politically correct being tried to push, it died that night. And it seems to me some have called it the revolution of the broletariat. So I'm expanding this out to sort of the bro podcast world. How much hope should we have in this? And it can be somebody who's like a bro, like a Chris Williamson, who shares a lot of stoic wisdom. I love his podcast. But you know what I'm talking about, this sort of motley crew that is now out there in the podcast world. How much hope should we put in this new sort of more masculine new media right now?
Well, there's a lot of it out there, and it's a reaction to how anodyne and stifling the mainstream media. I mean, you can go watch CNN and Wolf Blitzer. I mean, come on, you'll listen to Joe Rogan talking to Jocko Willink all day long compared to that. And I do think the Brady roast showed it was masculine in nature. I mean, it did show there's a lot of un-PC humor, a lot of, blue humor, which I think is probably good. I wouldn't say it was particularly skillful. If you go back and watch old DVDs of the roasts back when they were, 1970s roasts with like Frank Sinatra and people like that, there's, I think, a lot more skillful humor. But, I think it's a good sign. It's reactionary. So much of the world we live in now is reactionary, and the left is just puzzled over this. They can't understand, as though these people are just reacting to nothing. It's all in their heads. No, the young people who enjoy that sort of thing, if you want to call it the podcast world or the bro world, they are reacting to something, and they feel that they have to create their own world. And so, I was watching some clips from that, and first of all, I thought Tom Brady was 40, maybe, coming out of the NFL. Apparently he's 47.
Wow. Yes.
And I just thought, damn, that guy looks pretty good-looking guy, for 47. God bless him.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I was impressed with actually some of the jokes written for the non-comedians, and Tony Hinchcliffe just happens to be one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of his shows.
So does this mean 2 years ago he was 45 getting tackled by NFL linemen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's that avocado ice cream.
That's what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, it's like Tom Brady. Why do you look like Tom Brady?
Is there an anabolic, an avocado-flavored anabolic? Is that what we're talking
That's
about?
what I'm thinking
it's
there
in
is.
Europe somewhere.
Yeah, very European.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some regiment going on there. But I just found it's an interesting moment where I know plenty of women who like that humor, so I don't mean this like as a hard, fast rule, but the sort of female-dominated world of the managerial class and the corporate left, or however you want to call these folks, that really run the, say, old legacy prestige institutions, like it seemed like the complete opposite of what they're constantly trying to push. I think the next morning I had to go get my tire changed, and I'm sitting there on the TV in the waiting room, and there's the Today Show or something, and I'm like, this is night and day, and I know who I'm throwing my lot in with.
Yes, there is that HR America that I think a lot of, especially younger men, feel uncomfortable under. And so to see a roast like that with a bunch of NFL players, a lot of masculinity, a lot of testosterone, I think that's probably a good thing. It's probably good for America.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, Jeff. If folks want to cover what you're writing about, think about how can they do so?
Absolutely. Just follow me on Twitter, all one word, at Jeff Deist, JEFFDEIST.
Well, until we talk again, hopefully sooner rather than later, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Again, folks, Jeff Deist. And for those who don't know, not just president of the Mises Institute there for about 10 years, he was the chief of staff for Ron Paul for a good bit up there.
I knew
in
I liked
Congress.
that guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff's pretty awesome.
Good guy.
So have we got a second here, but have we learned anything important today?
I did learn that word for illegals. It's called newcomers.
Newcomers.
That's what we're supposed to be calling them.
What are we, old comers?
No, we're schmucks, Joey, because we're paying for everything the newcomers want to do.
Well, Biden's definitely an old comer.
Okay.
He's been here for what, 50-something years?
Too long. And I just read this a while ago, too. Boeing jet has skidded off the runway in Senegal. So
In Senegal?
Mm-hmm, the worries for Boeing continue on.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be in the space race against Elon in space.
Tell you, man. At some point, the whole DEI deal has got to come up, and they're going to have to take a critical look at when Boeing started implementing some of these things and when we're starting to have issues.
There's another Boeing whistleblower says he was pressured to hide defects in airplanes.
He better not say nothing. Hadn't he seen what happened the last two?
Right.
I got a prediction. No more Boeing whistleblowers.
You know the meme where it's from Scarface and they're talking on the phone laughing and the money's being printed out? Somebody captured that was the hitman for Boeing seeing there are more whistleblowers. Yeah. The internet always wins. But, you know, I've got like two fellas in here and we're all different ages. Am I off base on that HR world, that sort of corporate world where I don't feel welcome. I'll put it that way.
Most men do not, because for one, the rules change daily on a regular basis.
Yep.
And the conversation that three of us can have, even though it might not be always radio appropriate, I don't mind having it in front of other people. But these other people get offended or pretend to get offended for no other reason than to go to HR.
Well, all right. So now we're talking about the definition of the word and what matters and all that sort of stuff. So when I hear masculinity, you know, I mean, the context in my head is, you know, buff, some, you know, strapping, you know, willing to protect, you know, able to protect, that sort of thing. Is that what we're talking about? Or are we just talking about men finally standing up and being like, we've been pushed so far this way and told to feel a certain way, and we're just not going to do it anymore?
Well, I think one trait, and it is, I think, traditionally, like mythologically masculine trait is saying what you think.
Right.
Speaking what you think to be true, including jokes.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of that going on right now. But to your point, well, there are a lot of, you saw that the left was trying to make a thing, if you go work out, you're going to end up being a right winger. If you go to the gym or something like that. Which is
I'm looking at an article right now. Haven't really delved into it too much, but the premise is that the evangelical right is viewing Trump as just a masculine figure, and it's using a lot of his, you know, flaws, sins, whatever you want to call them. Seems to be sort of in that same vein.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. And I mean, I think masculinity broadly defined doesn't have to end up being that stereotype of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for instance.
But when it comes to Trump and Biden, I would rather have, and any president for that matter, I would rather have what I would consider to be a masculine president. I don't want some weak, soft-wristed Jimmy Carter, Joe Biden up there. This is not the governor of a state. This is the president of my country.
Yeah, but still, even if it's the governor of the state, city council, whatever, the buck's got to stop somewhere.
Oh, I agree.
Right?
I just have to take them when we're electing people that are way too old, they can't drive a car, but we're electing them to be governor and president. I have to start it somewhere. So I have to start with the presidency and work my way down to these lower offices. I would honestly say there's 30 or 40% of elected officials that have no business being in office, period. They were put there, they were paid and bought and paid for to be there.
You're being very kind with that number.
Trying to be, because a few of them are going to call me later. So
272-9228 if you want to hop in. We got to hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Well,
see?
How fitting. And, you know, guys, there are problems that people, men in particular, can experience as they get older, as they mature. One can be erectile dysfunction, which is no fun. You know, there are guys that now, studies showing that guys will now start an argument. They'll just be an ass right before bedtime so they don't have to even try to, you know, they avoid failing in intimacy.
Right.
They do it on purpose because, you know, they feel embarrassed about how they can't perform, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I know that can be embarrassing. You might not like it, but there is help out there, especially at Montgomery Men's Health. And they might very well find that the ED problem you have is tied to your low testosterone problem. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, including sex drive, and always feel tired like you're walking through life in a fog, it very well could be low testosterone. So the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health, they can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have treatments there, low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health They can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. Usually even notice an increased libido.
Nothing wrong with that.
You can actually book the same day that you called. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. Our threat of severe weather has not ended yet. In fact, our next round of severe storms may be a few hours away in the middle of the night. And I'm talking the wee hours of the morning with strong to severe storms with damaging wind gusts, maybe 70, 75 miles per hour in some cases. Not a strong tornado threat, but a significant damaging wind threat and maybe some large hail as well. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then much cooler air moves in. In fact, we'll be in the 50s by Friday night. Stay weather aware. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. That's 272-9228. And, well, guess who was on with my adopted godfather last night? Well, Sean Hannity's my
that part.
godfather.
Yeah.
You know, his wife went to the formerly known as Jeff Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd come to some of those reunions and whatnot. I don't think they're still married.
Did he let you park his car?
No, I've never met him. Never talked to the man.
That might have been one of those ones where you...
Yeah, never met him.
He was a valet guy at the fancy parties here in Auburn.
Didn't he get started in Huntsville or Athens?
Yeah, and then got over to the Atlanta market.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he started in Alabama. But Sean Hannity had on Senator Katie Britt last night.
Really?
Yeah. So you want to check out the segment?
Of course we do.
Let me back it up here. Let me get to like halfway through Sean's monologue. Because you know how he asks a question, it's like several minutes before. So Katie holds her own. Let's listen in.
Undressing. And if your daughter was reported, she felt uncomfortable in a boy's presence in a bathroom or locker room, would that be considered by your administration to be discrimination or bigotry? Yes or no? Why is that a hard question to answer? That's a simple question for me. The answer is, hell no, I would not want my daughter in the same locker room, bathroom, or undressing with other young people. No, I wouldn't want that.
Right, and this should be a simple answer. Obviously, particularly when you say, does the young woman feel uncomfortable? And if she says she does, is that discrimination? It's a simple answer, and that's the problem with this administration. At every single turn, they work to blur the lines. This Title IX, both rule and the proposal that is coming out, are totally unacceptable. I mean, we look at it in that proposal. They also say that if your child goes to school and says that they are a different gender, that teacher is not obligated to tell you as a parent. Let me tell you something. My children are not wards of the state. I am not going to co-parent with the federal government. I have a right as a parent to understand what happens in the classroom. We know what their grades are. We know what happens on the playground. And we certainly should know if they are trying to assimilate to a different gender. And that's not between them and the teacher. That's between my child and me. And so this government, this administration, Biden has it all wrong once again. And as a parent, I am sick and tired of the continual attacks from the left. We're seeing them in sports. We're seeing them obviously in these spaces. He absolutely does.
He knows the answer. His answer is what every other parent would answer. Here's the problem. He is afraid of the woke mob, and he is incapable of stating a simple truth. And that's just the reality. But they want to impose that and force that on parents all across the country.
Absolutely. And it's totally unacceptable. And look at what you're talking about with the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. Look, I am raising both a young man and a young woman. And I believe it is not only okay, it is necessary in many arenas to create spaces where they can grow and thrive and learn as both young women or young men. And when I'm raising a young man, I look at the fact that somehow the word boy has become toxic to the left and needs to be removed before scouts.
What do you think?
And look at the fact that I have a young woman, and what are we saying about Girl Scouts? What about the longevity of Girl Scouts? It's the same thing that's going to happen to women's sports. It is completely and totally unacceptable. It is absurd, and this is more of the same from the Biden administration. And truly, Sean, this is why we need President Trump back in the White House. He will bring common sense. He understands the values this nation was built on, and he knows that he will not bend to the woke mob. He will let our children be children. He will let them grow and thrive and learn to stand for the flag, to love this country, and to be who they are.
Well, pretty straightforward hit, but I think this is, it's absurd this is an issue. Like, it really is.
We're living in the land of the absurd right now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts that is something the federal government is considering doing in the name of compassion, in the name of civil rights.
It's crazy. There's literally a war on women. They're taking their sports. Now men can go in their bathroom. Now, if I feel like being a woman for the day, I can declare myself a woman. How is this even happening? Well, again, it's bizarro world.
Right. Well, and I didn't know the arc of history. It bends towards justice, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but we've gone from marches from Selma to Montgomery to like sex changes for kids, and everybody has to recognize it. And I'm sorry, I don't think there's some folks still living who actually did those marches here in this part of the world. Maybe they put on a face or appearance where they're like, yeah, this is all part of a continuum of justice. I got a feeling there are a lot of folks who do not buy it, the very folks that started the civil rights movement. And it's been perverted, figuratively and literally perverted. And it's absolutely absurd. So we'll see where it goes. I just don't see how people stand for this.
Who's my guy on HBO, Bill, who's
Bill
the
Maher?
libertarian? Yeah, his bid on I'm glad my parents didn't ask me what I wanted to be when I was 6 years old, because I'd be standing here with a peg leg and a parrot on my shoulder. Is one of the most honest, rebuttals to this question. I mean, children are not capable of making these decisions. So
wait, you're saying that kids are impressionable, can be tricked and manipulated, they can make really poor decisions, especially when they're encouraged by adults?
Especially when they have no idea, no frame of reference.
Right. And also, they have no idea of how long this is going to affect them. They think they can be a girl today and a boy back again tomorrow. Well, that's not the world we're living in. And unfortunately, they will give you the surgery you want, and a couple years later, when you realize there was a mistake made, tough.
If we make it 200 years, what do you think people are going to look back on during this time and say?
This might be, one of my favorites out there is Camille Paglia. Quote her in the piece I wrote for 1819 this week. And she says, when you start to see not just dandyism, sort of men and women dressing like each other, that's one thing. But when you see full-on gender fluidity, transgenderism, it's usually the sign of decadence and decline of an empire or of a culture. And, so hopefully we make that 200 years, but...
I mean, the closest we've been before, I believe, might have been when... we were wearing wigs and powdering our faces for court. Long way from there.
Now, this is the very beginning of, it's like an hour and a half presentation Glenn Beck put on yesterday, and I'm obviously not going to play the whole hour and a half, but I just want to play the intro because it's germane to our discussion. Let's just watch. Kind of hard to watch, though.
Point out that gender-affirming care is considered necessary, life-saving medical care by every major medical and mental health organization in the United States, which represents nearly 2 million doctors in this country.
Science overwhelmingly supports access to gender-affirming care.
Kids know their gender, unequivocally. Cisgender kids know their genders, and transgender kids know their genders.
Puberty blockers at age 12, yes, that makes a lot of sense.
We would not provide gender-affirming care for those under 18 if we didn't have decades of research showing that it improves outcomes.
I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster.
You realize that the life you've been living for the last 2 years was a lie.
These are all voices of detransitioners who listened to those experts you heard at the first part of the clip, and now, there are consequences.
It's my dream now to have children, and it breaks my heart that could have been taken away from me if I had been encouraged just a little bit more.
I absolutely felt like my life was ruined. I still experience a lot of pain and regret about it pretty much every day.
After surgery, I regretted it instantly. I brought up regret, and the first thing they said was, "You don't have regret, you've got OCD." So if you are thinking about transitioning,
Many of the effects of hormone therapy are reversible.
don't listen to the doctors.
And in many cases, all those voices you just heard were folks who went through and listened to the doctors are now saying, please don't do it. I deeply regret it.
No repercussions either, can they? Nothing they can do.
Right now.
And for the most
Not
part,
legally.
they're shutting them down. For everyone that speaks up, they do all they can do to silence their voices.
And luckily, there are other parts of the developed world and Nordic countries, the UK, a lot of them are saying this stuff is monstrous.
Yeah. And I love how at the beginning, the one lady like tried to couch it all like, oh, this is so good. We have all these organizations behind us. You know, we have over $200 million doctors under our thumbs. I wish you'd go to my doctor and bring this up.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. I think Jordan Peterson makes this argument constantly. The faculties of education where they teach teachers to be teachers, they're completely corrupt. Probably need to be razed to the ground. And what you have is not just inflation of our money, but inflation of credentials and the entire, say, peer review process.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a truly hard science where you can check each other's proofs, and if it's these softer social sciences, you can prove anything without really proving much of anything.
Or not prove anything at all and just claim
But everybody agrees we're all the experts, and you have some statistical study showing in this direction this might work, but no, you're using kids as guinea pigs, and you're doing it in the name of compassion, and that's one of the worst faces of evil, when evil takes over people's most compassionate drives and perverts them to mutilation, sterilization, and talk about psychological abuse and trauma out of that. I would encourage folks to just go to Glenn Beck's Twitter or go to The Blaze, watch this whole hour and a half presentation. Very well done. And it's hard to watch, though, but very well done by Beck and the team there. So how about this? On that wholesome note, we got to hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by, again, Dylan Rings. And Eddie, are we going to get some custom jewelry made?
I would like
commemorate
to get the
show.
Funky Fresh medallion. I'm all about that.
Yeah,
with a
Like
heavy
matching
gold
medallion?
Yep, with a heavy gold chain.
Heavy gold chain.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean by heavy?
I mean, I want to have a neck ache by the end of the day. I want to have neck muscles by
You
the
want
end
to
of the
be
month.
like a chain,
Yeah.
like a
In case you
junkyard
get,
dog.
Like a Mr. T chain.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you get stuck, I want to be able to pull you out of the ditch using my gold chain if I have to.
Now, but
Gold
what's
soft. Gonna have to go something a little harder.
This is true.
Platinum for you, bro.
Platinum, baby. Platinum, baby.
So what pendant are we getting?
I don't know, something large but not gaudy.
Yeah, large but not gaudy.
Large but not gaudy.
A hubcap.
That'd be pretty close,
Well, and the clock's already taken.
Yeah, the clock's kind of taken, and I really like
and we
the
can't
clock.
really copy Cat Williams.
Nah.
Though his whole woke thing is pretty awesome. Right?
But I would like something of that size. But I want the weight to be in the chain, not the medallion.
Maybe it could be our weight.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, like having a digital readout that's tied into our scales we have to use
Constantly
every day.
changing. I
Yeah,
can tell you that.
exactly. Gum! I just lost 5 pounds, honey.
Yeah, you think the debt clock moves fast.
So I bring all this up because Dylan Rings, of course, Josh Ryder there, the man's an artist.
Amazing artist, man.
And and a bit of a mad scientist, too, when you go back to that lab. It's like all the techniques he has for not only, say, repairing jewelry or polishing it up, giving it a, say, cleaning or spa treatment, but that custom design work. If you can dream it, like Eddie and I were sitting here just brainstorming, we need to go do it with Josh Ryder.
He'd be sketching, steadily sketching away.
And, and it's just genius stuff. And if you go to DylanRings.com, you can see under custom design, like the way they render it on the computer first. So you can see a digital rendering, have it on a hand or around the neck that's, matching your skin tone. So you're getting a sense of what it's going to look like on you. And if you like that, pull the trigger, Josh Ryder will make it an actual reality.
Yes, he can.
Build it out for you. The man is remarkable at what he does. So check out Dylan Rings today. You can always go to DylanRings.com. But I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. They're closed today for Josh's son's graduation. Congratulations on that again, sir. That's a big deal right there. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder when you stop by that Joey and Eddie from that radio show sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Thompson Tractor is the go-to source for a complete range of the best equipment for your next construction project. Thompson Tractor also has the trusted parts and expert service you've come to expect for more than 65 years, all of which keeps your business up and running so you can focus on the work you do. And now is a great time to get the compact equipment you need, because right now, there's financing starting at 0% for 36 months on any Cat compact equipment, including skid steers and mini excavators. These machines don't sit around for long, but no worries. If it's not here, we can pull from one of our other 16 locations in Alabama and Northwest Florida. And hey, if you're not ready to buy, Thompson Rents is here so you can rent what you need. So visit ThompsonTractor.com for all the details and for the location nearest you. Thompson Tractor and Thompson Rents. We're here for you.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Bates House of Turkey is celebrating their first anniversary in Montgomery and 100 years in business with a renovated Montgomery location. Come enjoy the famous hickory smoked turkey sandwiches, the old-fashioned roast turkey dinners, and their expanded grab-and-go frozen casseroles and soups. There's plenty of room for small groups in the expanded dining room. Order online at BatesHouseOfTurkey.com. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery services available. Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eat turkey. Feel turkey.
Hi, this is Jason with Wholesale Hunter. We've been advertising with Blue Water for a while now. We have great results with them. Appreciate everything they do with us.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Hi, I'm Mark DePlanche with Admiral Movers. People ask, what makes Admiral Movers different from other movers? It's simple. We take pride in caring for our team, so we know that they will take care of you. All of our team members are Admiral employees. They are all fully background checked and trained in-house. We never hire day laborers. So for your next move, whether it's a commercial move or household move, across town or across the country, call Montgomery's favorite movers, Admiral Movers. Mention code SUMMER10 to save 10% on your next move.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Man, Eddie, we need one of those things. Aroma 360 smart car diffuser. Well, they've already switched over to a different commercial, but we need one we need like something to freshen up the studio.
How about chicks? It smells like dudes in here all the time.
That's what I mean.
All the time it smells like dudes.
I know.
And not the good kind.
I know.
Okay.
It's musky in here.
Yeah.
I was told I stunk yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was from this or just myself or a combination thereof.
I only think I smell good.
I usually think I smell good, but when I come in here, it smells a bit like.
No, we need like air fresheners.
Well, we got this air filter over here, but I kind of think that thing is choked down. it gave up a while ago.
Is it supposed to be black?
Yeah, exactly.
No, seriously, we got outlets we don't use. Let's just throw an air freshener.
All right,
like a
this is
clay
what I'm
plug-in
worried
or
about.
something.
If we throw that air freshener in, all of a sudden, you hear that hum? You hear that hum?
Good.
It would drive us nuts. Yes, exactly.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And, well, Pest Pro can help you with all of these pest control needs you definitely need this time of year. It could be, well, termites are coming alive. Well, they are coming alive right now. A lot of reports of swarms all over the
We
area.
got swarms. We got the fire ants going on. Of course, we got El cucarachas, which are just steadily a problem here in Alabama. But the fire ants, to me, right now are the worst because these big mounds, every time it rains, and I think it's raining now, you go out the next day and you have 3 or 4 new red mounds in your yard.
And especially if you got kids or dogs, or it could just be you. Maybe you're like mowing the lawn and you forget where you're stepping.
That was my thought. You're mowing the grass and you walked right into one.
So whatever the issue might be, don't forget those mosquitoes.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Ugh. Pest Pro Services can help you out.
They can take
265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces today. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley, that great team, that you heard about him here on the radio with Joey and Eddie. Let's go to Papa B.
Hey, guys.
What up, Papa B?
Yeah. Dude, you know, when I hear stories like the kids that are being mutilated by these monsters, I'm serious. You know, we have laws on the books against this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it proves that we are in a lawless, really, country. You know, another example of how we're in a lawless country. Not only that, it's an example of how our institutions have been co-opted by some really just pure evil people.
Absolutely.
And
well, and I would say this: the worst evil are the folks that think they're doing good as they do this.
It's just like you said. You said it exactly right. It's monstrous, and I cannot wait until the law really gets a hold of these folks by the nape of the neck. The idea that you're going to sit there and ask a kid what he wants to do, and they're doing it as young as I think, like what, 6, 7 years old or so, certainly in their teens. It's the usual players. They're not there's not like this big movement. There's just a few key players, Rachel Levine or whatever the guy's name is. There's some names that you hadn't heard for a while. Billie Jean King. I don't know if you knew that. She's big into this trans thing.
Well, and don't you love that, like with Levine, whatever, they're like the first openly trans admiral. I'm like, wait, was Nibbit some secret fruit?
Golly, I swear. Man, talk about provocative. I don't want to say what comes to my mind is what I want to do to these folks, because it probably is not going to be fit for them.
Yeah, don't go too far. If you do that, I'm going to have to recommend you watch Fake Dr. Phil, because he goes too far all the time.
Well, I can't wait till the law grabs a hold of these folks by the nape of the neck and does what it's supposed to do. But in the meantime, man, what can be done? I don't know, but all I can do is sit here and shake my head. I cannot understand why people would do this to a child. Honestly,
I'll never understand.
Anyway, all right, guys, y'all have a great one. I'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully.
All right, Papa B.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
Have a good one, buddy.
And let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, it is a wonderful day at Prattville Carpet. We've got Bart's birthday. Can you believe Bart is 55 years old?
55?
Wow. Damn.
And the most upsetting thing about that is people think he's my son.
Well, Ray, if you would have used that wash your gray right out of your hair like somebody recommended, it probably wouldn't be the case.
Yep, I know. Well, hey, look, real quick, we've got our Mohawk wreck here, Brent. Brent, you want to say hi? How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How you doing,
Brent?
He's putting up a new display for us. Hey, I got a question, just a survey. Who is your favorite store in Central Alabama? Prattville Carpet.
But of course. Good answer. Good answer.
Robert Gardner, I'm sorry if you heard that. It is a really cool display. It is an LVP that looks. Obviously, everything we sell has a downside. The downside is that LVP doesn't quite look like real wood. We can't make it the way God makes it.
Okay.
It is what it is. But this is the closest thing on the market that looks like a real wood floor. When you walk on it, you're going to swear you're walking on a wood floor. It's amazing. You just got to come see it.
All right.
So come to Prattville in the next couple of weeks. Check out the new display. Call us at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a new floor down. Just that easy.
Again, that number, 285-8117. When you call those fine folks there at Prattville Carpet, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio here.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great day.
You too,
You too, Ray.
So we really only have like a minute or so left. Yeah, the kids issue, it's becoming it's so many issues. Because we started this week talking about the social media thing, and of course, the whole transgender thing that's really gotten going. But then that applies now to sports like Title IX. And you wonder, what's the next shoe to drop in this so-called progress that we're experiencing? Papa B was sitting there musing about how does this happen? I think there are some very evil folks out there. But I think the average person who's pushing this in, say, the medical community, this is what I learned in college. These are the standards. Look at the peer-reviewed literature. And it becomes this groupthink to where a few evil characters can push the group in a particular direction where everybody else is like, well, I'm trying to just be compassionate and competent.
And going to the institutions, once those evil forces leave and it's already sort of been adopted by the institutions themselves,
indoctrinated.
That's when it's...
Well, people wonder what happened to the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, that just kills me.
And I think what happened is after special allegations, I think it's something like 83,000 allegations of sexual abuse, which is...
But
the Catholic Church are run for
How did the ones that were doing all the abuse end up running the damn Boy Scouts now? Because that's what's happened. Instead of these people being locked up and thrown out of the organization said, hey, let's double down on stupid, and we'll just accept everybody.
I think a lot of people just left. Like,
There's
I
no doubt.
can teach my kid to be an outdoorsman in a different way.
Much better way.
So silver lining here, I do think that a lot of, especially moms, are becoming more active. And as some of our older activists are aging out, a new generation is being born into it.
Yep.
A good point with the moms, because right now I think the moms are going to have to be the ones that step up.
And they're not 45, 55.
Right.
I mean, they're 35 to 45.
Yep, exactly right. We got a few of them in Congress now.
Yeah, we do.
Which actually is a refreshing change. If the men ain't going to do their part, let's have
I'm just
the moms
happy for
do
some
it.
youth in there in general.
If we can get rid of some lawyers and some different professions in there, that'd be a good thing too.
I'm down.
And on that hopeful note, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM.